Welcome back to Split, Croatia. We've just had a little lunch break here and we're ready for more action in the women's tournament. We'll have the ranking game for 11th place between Turkey and Denmark coming up for you very shortly. And then we'll be proceeding through the rankings up to 5th place before we go into another little break. And the format will be a women's game, a men's game, a women's game, a men's game, and so on and so forth. I'm joined once more by resident expert Andy Knight, and we're really looking forward to this afternoon session and the second block of games today. Andy, do you have any little golden nuggets or insights that you picked up along the way in that lunch break? Any interesting conversations maybe?
Yeah, it's been good. We spoke with a couple of the captains and a couple of the team managers in there. Some interesting viewpoints on how they feel the games have gone and where they are. And with Italy was a really exciting one. They're absolutely delighted with himself, having qualified for the Dubai Sevens now. Absolutely over the moon with that, and got a manage to talk with them. We had the French team who were delighted with this young squad that they've got to get as far as they did and get into the finals there. The Germany women's team are a little disappointed, but at the same time very happy at getting to the semi-finals for the first time. And German men's team, they're very disappointed at how they've played in this tournament. However, lots to look forward to, lots of positives as well. We've made a couple of mistakes along the way, and we'd just like to shout out to Miranda Hart, who let us know that we'd made a little mistake and saying about her son who we thought had thrown a bad pass in, but unfortunately we were incorrect at that stage, so apologies to Mrs. Hart there. We'll try our best there not to make these mistakes, but occasionally the slip of the tongue comes in, so we'll ensure that Vincent gets the respect that he's due. And speaking with the Belgian team earlier, we were talking about Muric there being absolutely immense and how he's been playing. Absolutely delighted with him. Unfortunately, they've not gone on to win that last game. However, lots to look forward to. We also found out from the Belgian team as well, the injury that was sustained by Lisa Goossens is not as bad as we thought. Kept out of the weekend and probably another week or possibly two, but it's not something that's going to threaten going forward. So that's really good news for Herb. However, Francesco Cruzo from Italy, he will be out for a few months probably, or certainly a few weeks, with a double break to his ankle. But going forward, we've got a little bit of raindrops coming in, which has cooled the air nicely. The wind has died down at the moment, although we do have thunderstorm warnings, high wind warnings. We'll just wait and see how that plays out, because it seems to chop and change. We are by the seaside, so we never know what's going to be coming in off that sea. But a little bit of rain would maybe not be such a bad thing, just to cool down, make the air a bit fresher for the players that are out there at finals time. So lots to look forward to. As I said, the first game that's coming up is the 11th place ranking match for the women between Turkey and Denmark, and we'll be back with that in a moment as we see some graphics on our screen coming up just to keep you updated. So all to play for Denmark. They'll be looking to get a win in here, but Turkey will also be looking to finish on a bit of a high. And from the trophy next year, we'll be seeing Ukraine coming up and playing, as well as Italy. Both of them finishing in the top two there in the trophy series, so they'll be joining the championship next season. So congratulations to them, with Ukraine winning both Makarska and Cisnao as well, and Italy in second place. So well done to them for coming up. However, as we say, it's still all to play for, with Denmark and Sweden wanting to get as many points on the board and get the wins in so they can stay up.
What are you laughing at, Andy? What was that little giggle all about?
So just looking at the rankings and the trophy and the championship, it's exciting. It's an exciting time. I mean, we're just saying Denmark. We're really looking forward to seeing them play. We'd love to see them stay in the championship. We'd love to see Turkey and Sweden stay, but unfortunately, the way the system works, two teams do have to go down. But we're delighted for Ukraine and Italy with them coming up from the trophy series. So it's always good from our point of view to see new teams and see the changes, but from a coach's and a team's point of view, it can be very disappointing getting relegated. But on occasion, it can be a good thing where they can gain a year of experience, get a few wins under their belt, and show that they have the potential and the ability to step up to this higher level of rugby, which is where everybody wants to be. They want to play to their best and make sure that they get as high as they want. But this game here for Denmark, I mean, they'll definitely be targeting this to get a win. If they get a win here, then they will stay up. But I'm sure Sweden will be watching the game closely as well.
Yeah, thanks for talking us through that, Andy. We're just under 2 minutes away from kickoff here. So the excitement is rising again once more in the stands. Looking forward to Denmark against Turkey. I'm sure the players are gathered and ready to take to the field now. And just a little reminder that we are running 1.5 hours ahead of the original schedule here, so if there's any confusion back home, it's because of the severe weather warnings for this evening. We've seen the first drops of rain fall. It's not really amounted to anything here, so the playing surface is still dry. It's not really that greasy. We've just had a little walk over the park, and the conditions are still looking top, but it's getting quite muggy here. You can feel the humidity rising, and we're just hoping we can get through the action before the clouds do burst here and the thunderstorms come down and split.
Yeah, looking to the rugby, Ian, we've been talking about these two teams. We've been discussing how each team's been playing and who their threats are, and I'd have to say with Turkey, we've always been talking about Dilmac there. We've been talking about Alagos, Bolat, Fesley. They've been some really good players. Is there anyone that really stands out in that Danish team for you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're stacked with talent as well. I think in the first leg, the real star was Halbech, and also their number 2, Giesing. But here today, we're really seeing great performances from Augustino and Kragelund. Elmbach has also been very impressive, and I remember Talksport coming onto the field in one of their fixtures. I can't remember who it was against, but she was very influential in that fixture. So not just the Turkish side with the speedsters that we know about, this Danish team stacked with talent as well. And we're underway here. Turkey with the kickoff, playing from left to right in their white kit. And Denmark with the initial possession and the initial break. And that is one of the women that we just highlighted, Giesing. She had a tremendous first leg, and she's got this very important 11th place final, off to a cracking start for her country with the first 5 points.
Yeah, lovely little break from Giesing there, just powering away. She's a tall, rangy player as well, so managing to outstrip that defence from the very start, from Fesley's kick-off there, and the conversion right underneath the post puts it over from Elmac to take the score to 7 points to 5. 7 points to 0, apologies.
Yeah, fantastic start to the game for Denmark. And they'll look to put up a contestable kick here, I am sure. Good chase coming in. That kick's just gone maybe a little bit too far to contest directly, but the first up defence is good, and Turkey now in attack, throwing a dummy and looking for a break of their own, making good meters, dragged down just beyond the halfway line. They release well on the floor and pick up, but the tackling player didn't release, so that is the reason for the penalty. And they look to move the ball through the hands. It's Bolat, one of the danger players that you highlighted, Andy. Losing possession, but it goes backwards, so able to regather. Slightly scrappy there in the build-up. Inaccuracies with the passing, but possession is still under control. That's Dilmatch. Oh, and a little knock on there as the players tangle. And Denmark do come up with the ball as everything just got a little bit messy. Giesing to distribute. A short crash line in the midfield. Well recycled. Eileen applying real pressure in there for Turkey. But Denmark up to the challenge, and they move the ball to the wide right, looking for an outside shoulder. And the support is good. Well recycled once more from Giesing. Slight gap opening up there, and Denmark accelerate through it, getting the hand free for the offload. They look to be off for their second try of the match through the captain, Riai. And the captain does extend the lead to 12 points with the conversion still to come.
Yeah, a couple of little breaks there from Halbech. She's another one of the taller players in the Denmark team, which we've talked about on many an occasion. She was finding gaps in that Turkish defence and eventually freeing up a little space there for Rihai to go through to put another try on the board for Denmark with the unsuccessful conversion. Makes it 12 points to 0 for Denmark.
Yeah, just over 3 minutes played here and already a commanding lead for Denmark. They'll look to just keep chipping away at that scoreboard and tighten their grip on the 11th place. The kick finds grass, bouncing unkindly for the Turkish team and just goes into touch. Turkey taking the line out quickly. That was in front of the mark though, which is the reason why it's brought back. Just a little explanation from the referee to the Turkish players of why she's halted play there. You can take a quick line out, it doesn't have to be from the mark, but clearly it cannot be from in front of the mark. And Turkey doing well from the set piece. Bolat on one of her curving runs with a little dummy and straightening up on the outside channel. She's a real sprinter, a speedster, and she's got the edge in Halbech. She throws the ball inside to Alagoz, who does regather as it bounces on the floor in front of her. And so Bolat having to work hard and support as well before Dilmatch recycles, and they move the ball to the left. Eileen now dragged down just in front of the 22. Oh, and again the ball just going slightly behind Dilmatch, so she's unable to gather that one cleanly. And that's taken the momentum out of this attack. The Danish defence are set and move up, looking to pressurise the Turkish attack. They do well to evade one tackle before Giesing ragdolls the attacking player. And Turkey with a tactic we've seen quite often, using a kick to target the space in behind the defensive line. Good offloading play as well, and the ball does come free for the Turkish attack, and they score. Now that is a number 8 on her back, and the number 8 on my sheet says Augustino, but I'm pretty... I'm looking at the wrong sheet, that's why, Andy. I'm sorry, it is Dilmatch, of course.
Yeah, it was Dilmatch going through there. Some lovely little break there Erdogan going through there first of all and just didn't get the nice bounce, but there was some great support there from Alagos, and then the little offload to Dilmac to go under the post there. So nice end to that play for Turkey. It's a little tetchy though, they don't seem to have much control at the moment. Denmark had most of the possession there, but then just coughed it up and didn't quite have the speed to get back, as we see the kick going from Fesley a little bit too long, and Halbeck gets this and moves it to the outside channels. Good cover tackle there from Bolat, eventually pushing the Danish player into touch, although referee indicating there was a knock on, so it will be a scrum down to Denmark.
Yeah, it will be a scrum here, and a good position to attack this Turkish team and push towards extending their lead, as we see fresh legs take to the field. It's number 19, Narli Dere, for Turkey, just bolstering the team. Dying moments of this first half, 10 seconds left on the clock. And the scrum goes well. Giesing picks up off the back and feeding her backs. Once more, and they come round the corner nicely here. There's some space if they can straighten up and attack it, but that ball, unfortunately, just being knocked on here. Slightly lateral, wasn't it, Andy?
Yeah, exactly that, just running across. I think there's some tired legs there. You know, there's 6 games of rugby being played. We're getting to the end of the tournament. There's all to play for Denmark, to be fair, but at the same time, it's very tiring. They'll have definitely, lungs will be bursting a little bit, legs will be heavy, bodies will be feeling tired and sore. But yeah, running across the field, they need just to straighten up a little bit if they want to get the ball into the hands of Augustino, who has scored quite a few tries, and she's got a good bit of speed and power. We just need to make the ball work across the field rather than the legs working across the field. But we go into half time. Denmark will be relatively happy with a 12-7 lead. Turkey maybe not quite as happy. A few mistakes been made, a few errors. Just need to tighten up a little bit, see if they can get a couple of scores on the board to make this match really interesting.
Yeah, we've just got some information coming in here regarding the qualification for the Sevens divisions, and it will. Italy are looking to be in a good position, I think, to qualify for their next rang, and we'll be updating you on that as the tournament progresses, because there's opportunities for the teams not already on the Sevens series to qualify here this weekend. The top teams of the men's and women's competitions that are not yet qualified to the Sevens Division 3 will be awarded places here after the second leg of the Rugby Europe Sevens Championship. But back to the action here on hand. It'll be Denmark to kick off and get our second half underway. Elmbach prepares to kick, and she finds grass. Eileen letting the ball bounce in front of her and catching it calmly. Little loop play and a grubber kick to be chased. Bolat is streaking away after it, but the Danish player does get there first. And a big fend, getting the hand free, looking for an offload, but having to go to ground eventually, and Denmark recycle just around their 22. Again, slightly lateral there from Ndaye. Attacking the outside shoulders here, but Eileen with a strong tackle. And Giesing sees another opportunity to break. She did it at the start of the first half, and it looks like she might do it at the start of the second half here. Dilmac coming over for the cover tackle, but she won't make it on time. And Giesing showing her speed once more.
Yeah, great pace from Giesing down the outside there, but really well done on the near side to get the ball back after the chip through from Augustino, to work her socks off to get back and present that ball for her teammates, hold it up, and give enough time for the Denmark attack to get a structure in place to make those passes out wide to get into the hands of Giesing for a lovely score at the other end. Well played, Denmark.
Indeed, well played, Denmark, and they just extend their lead, tightening their grip maybe on this game now. Turkey's still a threat, but we haven't seen all that much from them other than these 2 kicks that they put through to chase. Ellenbach once more, this time a little bit deeper with the kick, and once more she finds grass. The ball bounces kindly and Turkey are able to launch an attack straight away. Just slowing things down there a little bit, staying big in the contact before recycling to Dilmach. She's wrapped up well, and as she tries to offload, the ball just strays forward. The coaching staff look on with rather glazy eyes after that happened.
Yeah, I felt a bit sorry for her there. She got into a good possession, drew in 2 defenders, and as she went to deck, she played it off the ground, but maybe it was just too late. I think the referee saying that she was on the ground, she was held, so she can't play the ball unless it's played immediately, which gives the possession in a great area for Denmark to attack from.
Yeah, and Giesing off again to Halbech. Halbech, a big tall player with a long stride and a powerful fend, but she's lost control of the ball here. And Turkey once more with possession, but they've not really had any possession in the opposition half to speak of, Andy, so they'll struggle to score points from back here, won't they?
Yeah, it's a long way to go, which is why I think they were deploying the kicks and kick and chase, which we've seen them do before on occasion, and they are good at it, but it's a long way to go to try and do that 2 or 3 times, so they do need to get down to that half, though. It would be good to get into the Danish half and then be able to launch attacks from there with handling moves, because they do have the speed. They've just got to get there first. As we see the feed coming into the scrum from Fesley, moving the ball to the first receiver, who just sidesteps up the pitch a little bit further.
Yeah, that's Bollat once more, and she was trying to get her hands free for the offload, just couldn't manage it on that occasion. But it was a dangerous attack, and a good inside step, and back on the outside. That's Dilmach. She's a real sprinter, so she could go all the way here, and the fend is good. She slips out of the last covering tackle, and she's charging towards the line. Dilmach with the points for Turkey.
Yeah, lovely little play from Alagoz there, just to free up the hands. A little sidestep, got round a lovely start movement to stop Augustina just smashing her. She then managed to free up her hands to feed the ball to Dilmach, who managed to get down the field for a lovely score for Turkey.
The conversion just sliding past her upright. And Turkey ring the changes. Number 12, that's Gulnur Zak, who takes to the field. As we see a couple of players taking a knee, and there's some treatment, some attention being given to one of the Danish players. I'm not quite sure who that is, but they're just getting some strapping. So time is off, and Denmark with a 5-point lead with just over 2 minutes left to be played. So it's anyone's game still, and that was indeed the captain of Denmark. That was Riai, who got the scoring off, who got the second try in the first half. She's fine to carry on, and Denmark with the ball once more in the 122. Giesing. Well recycled through McGibbon. And they're out of their 22 now, patiently building up the attack. Halbech just taking a backward step there and allowing the Turkish players to advance. McGibbon unable to get a clean pass away there, and Turkey capitalise. Juggling the ball slightly, but regathering before going to ground. Bill match plays to the right hand side. Nothing happening there. The Danish defence stays well organised, and we've seen that all tournament, haven't we, Andy? We've seen a very organised Danish defence.
Yeah, their defence is generally quite good, but on that occasion I have to say that the defence from Turkey was excellent, and they managed to get the turnover when Denmark weren't deep enough in their attack and didn't get the ball away from contact. And there's a good scrap on there by Turkey. They're not going down without a fight, that's for sure, as we see Alagos going round the outside. Fesley picking up the scraps, just moving the ball and slowing things down a little bit through Erdogan. But we're going back for a penalty in the midfield where they weren't back onside the Danish defence.
Yeah, so just after I praised the Danish defence and how well organised they are, their discipline just wobbling a little bit here. Bilmatch takes it quickly, passes to Aiden, but Denmark this time are able to just hold them out. Fesley looking for an opportunity of her own. Dilmatch once more throws the ball inside, a basketball style pass, and it does go forward as the hooter sounds, and in that Denmark are victorious. They will win the 11th place here in Split, Croatia.
Yeah, that was a bit harum-scarum at the end, wasn't it? However, Denmark winning that game 17 points to 12. I'm not sure if that 100% makes them stay up there. We need to check our facts and figures, because if Sweden win and put a number of points on, then they could in theory still be promoted, but I think the points are well out of, or very much difficult to come by. We'll do our fact crunching. I'm sure someone will send us that information just to see exactly what's what, but on this occasion Denmark win that game deservedly. Unfortunately, we will not be seeing Turkey in the championship next season, but we wish them all the best as they endeavour to take on the trophy once again.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's going to be a really interesting one when we'll know more about Denmark's fate and Sweden's fate after the Swedish women play for the 9th place. That'll be coming up shortly, but first we look back to the men's series, the men's competition, and it'll be Poland for Lithuania battling it out for 11th place. And Lithuania did win that 11th place in Hamburg in leg 1, Poland winning 12, and that means regardless of how this game ends, both of these teams will have to spend a year in the trophy series. The action coming up shortly as the Danish players still leave the park. They're hugging and high-fiving all round. Just another reminder, this was the 11th place final, also in the first leg. Lithuania coming out on top on that day, so Poland might really feel they have a point to prove today, even if their fate has already been sealed. Both teams will play next year in the trophy series. And Poland, straight from the kickoff, winning the ball back and then knocking it on, unfortunately, as they enter the Lithuanian 22. And we'll go pitch side for an interview.
So congratulations on that win. That should keep you up in the championship, although mathematically I think Sweden can still get there, can't they, if they win by about 200 points?
I think we put ourselves in a really good position and we're staying up. That was the big goal for this year. But coming in as number 12, we knew it was going to be hard. This weekend has definitely been tough, but whoa, we made it. Yeah, that was a tough game at the end. Turkey didn't make it easy for you, did they?
No, they like to keep things interesting. The last couple of games has been nerve-wracking to follow, so but they did it.
Absolutely, and as we say, we believe that you will stay up in this championship, and we're looking forward to seeing you next year. Before we go, do you have a message for any of your fans, supporters and families back home?
Tak for al støtten derhjemme. Det så fedt at mærke. Dannebro højest på tribunen, der ingen tvivl.
Yeah, what she said.
all the best, ladies. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And good luck with the injury.
Thank you.
She'll be back next year.
Well, and Prelidis ran almost the full length of the park there, but Poland working back so hard to drag him down before he made it to the try line, stealing the ball, and it's back in Lithuanian hands. They're knocking on the door, but the Polish defence rallying to keep them out. It's still 0-0, 1.5 minutes of play. Lithuania feed. And knock on as Prelidis comes round the corner. The pass just unfortunately not in front of him, and he's unable to gather. So Poland breathe a sigh of relief as they have possession in their own 22 with the midfield scrum, which works well for them under pressure from the strong Lithuanian forward pack. The grubber kick might work out. Oh, it just sits up and bounces over the head of the oncoming player. Poland unable to regather. So Lithuania attack now from the halfway line, snapping it back to the short side, stepping and driving and applying the pressure, turning the screw here. They play wide. Again, good footwork, but just losing control on that rough part of the pitch there, close to the main stands. Pressure from Poland, real pressure coming in there. Contesting the breakdown hotly. Prelidis distributes. So Lithuania doing well to keep control of the possession, but they've gone backwards there. Now they do make the break, streaking away up the park. It's Jusevicius, dragged down just beyond the 10-metre line and recycling well. They come back to the left-hand side. Great pace on the ball at the moment. They're passing confidently and running onto it with some speed. Unable to evade the ever watchful Soroki in defence. Prelidis now with the good footwork once more. We've come to expect that from him, and he creates a try for himself out of almost nothing. A little feint to the outside and then stepping back on the inside and pumping the legs through the gap. A fantastic try from number 10, Prelidis, the 23-year-old from Lithuania. That gives Lithuania the lead and the slight edge in the 11th place final.
Yeah, I've just come back from the interview there with the two Danish captains, injured and non-injured as they were known. They're very happy with themselves, as we said. I think mathematically it's still possible for Sweden to stay up in the championship, but highly unlikely. As we check the points difference, it is quite a high points difference that they'll have to make. So, quite rightly so, the Danish team were on a high as we come back to the men's tournament here. As we said, Lithuania 7-0 up. Looking forward to this game. This is looking like it's a bit of a tough game.
Yeah, it's a very evenly matched contest so far, Andy. I don't know how much you were able to watch while you were down pitch side, but Poland streaking away with the initial break of the ball, almost scoring a try of their own. But Lithuania now in full control. Soroki taking it up to the Lithuanian defence, just 5 metres beyond his own 22. And Poland look to move the ball in the width. Getting caught up in the midfield slightly from a strong Lithuanian defence, but the penalty is awarded to Poland. They charge forward without any delay, moving the ball wide to the hands of Soroki. We've seen him score already today. Stepping inside well and powering through in between two players. That was Pilaidis and Alexanian, making the challenge, making the tackle together.
Yeah, that's some good cover defence there, wasn't it? There's a lovely break, initial break going through from Soroki. The support player's not quite there quick enough, and Lithuania getting in on that and managing to peter out that attack as they kick downtown, not quite going into touch. Poland getting a chance to attack as they hit the wide channels once more.
Yeah, charging down the tram lines there. And distributing the ball once more. Down to the right hand side, they might look to bring Soroki in once more. They do. He goes for the switch play. That's very well read by the Lithuanian defender, Rumbauskas. But Poland recycle well and just caught in possession there. Lithuania come away once more through number 5. That's the captain, Krasauskas. Oh, and they find just a little gap, almost up to the try line. A big challenge comes in from Poland, the counter-ruck, and they're awarded with a penalty as the Lithuanians are forced under the pressure to put their hands in to retain that ball, which is clearly not legal.
Yeah, that was great defence there, and it was Janiec who managed to get back and snuffle out the attack with a little jump on the back and make sure that the ball was not getting released, and they'll just kick this one out, go into half-time. Down by 7 points, but certainly not out of this game, that's for sure.
Yeah, not at all. It's a 7-point game. That's one try. So 2 tries from Poland would win it. And we're going to the half-time now with Lithuania leading, as I said, 7 points to 0. It's the 11th place final of the men's competition. Both teams with fairly even shares of possession in that first half. A very tight contest. Lithuania just with that one telling break where they did score. Other than that, there's not much in this at all. Both teams showing promise. And I just feel if Lithuania could get back to their style of play that worked so well for them in the first leg as they played wide. Remember in the group stages they pushed Belgium all the way to the wire. Belgium, a team that's made the semi-finals. So the quality of this Lithuanian team is there. They've still got a full complement of players, injury-free as the tournament's progressed.
Yeah, looking at the stats, Ian, it's all to play for both teams, because technically, although Poland finished last in the men's championship there, the Hamburg Championship tournament, if they were to win this game, they could still jump above Lithuania and go level on points with Ukraine. I'm not sure what their points difference is there, so there might be that there's a possibility that they can still stay in the championship. However, if Lithuania win this game, they could then jump above Ukraine and become level with Czechia, and it's Czechia-Ukraine are the next game to play. So it's all to play for at the moment. All to play for. Lithuania will definitely be looking to win, that's for sure, and definitely looking to put the points on, so it gives themselves every chance of staying in the championship.
And we're back underway here. Lithuania with the possession from the kickoff. A big Fend coming in there, taking the challenge to Siraki of Poland. He's a very strong man, but gets caught on the wrong side of the breakdown here. And Lithuania able to spread the ball. This is what I was talking about, looking to bring the width into it. And then Prelaitis in the midfield with his hot stepping. A constant threat, but he's unable to keep hold of the ball on this occasion. So Poland attack from deep. Coming down the left-hand side with an offload of their own. And there's no release there, so Poland get the penalty, and it's one of their quickest players, Janiek, who streaks away. Bursting down the middle, finding the offload, getting the hands free. That's the number 10, Pastrykov of Poland.
Yeah, lovely little angle, wasn't it, from Pastrykov, just to get on the end of that pass. The hands were released and he came on at pace on the left hand side and just managed to free the hands up. Well scored, Poland. And just to clear up a little mistake of mine, we've just checked on the facts and figures, and it looks like unfortunately both these teams will be relegated due to the point situation. Not my finest moment there. Handed the wrong information by myself. So unfortunately we'll not be seeing Lithuania or Poland in the championship next season, but we will be seeing Switzerland and Romania, who were the ones that won the trophy, and they will be coming up to join us in the championship next season. So a bit of pride to play for here, that's the main thing, and a bit of experience for some of the younger players as well.
Lithuania with possession once more. Poland unsuccessful with the conversion, so it's a 2-point game here. Lithuania with the finest of leads, the narrowest of leads. And they recycle. Unable to... Oh, they do just manage to get that ball moved on quickly to Taujanskas, charging up the park. He gets the ball back. Big physical player with a lot of pace. And Lithuania moving the ball well. Taujanskas showing all the skills he's got in his set with that little stop with his foot, controlling the ball nicely. And Lithuania just moving slowly up the park, finding a gap there on the inside, and a swerving run towards a corner flag they go. Through there, number 4, Alexanian, and he does dot down for the next 5-pointer.
Yeah, that was a good fight from him there, good bit of strength to show from Alexanian there, just to power his way over. This game's a little bit flat, I think, because, as we've just said, both teams unfortunately will be relegated from here, so they've nothing to play for other than a bit of pride, and they will want to go out with a win here, but I don't think anyone will be happy from either team. But that was a good little break there, still showing that what they can do, because there will be team places up for grab for tournaments and squads and recognition from their countries, and hopefully both teams will play right to the end of this game.
Yeah, and it is part of the development process, isn't it, Andy? You've got to spend your time on the kind of edge of this championship group of teams before you really establish yourself, and that's be the goal of both of these teams. So they may be relegated, but they'll be looking to come straight back up next season and take some momentum out of a possible victory in this game. So Poland with possession, attacking from deep, awarded a penalty, and they tap and go. Once more it's Janiek, the speedster with the 14 on his back, and he goes up the middle this time, up the guts. Once more it's a penalty, so Lithuania will need to be really careful and not concede another one, and maybe a yellow card even. Going down to 6 players would not be smart at this point in the game, as Poland continue this relentless pressure in the Lithuanian half. On their number 13, that is the captain, Kornek, just trying to force an offload slightly there, Andy, wasn't it? Was it on?
Yeah, it could have been on. He just he threw the ball against his own body, unfortunately. They'd worked really hard to get up there, but he got a little bit confused when he was behind the ruck. Not sure which way to go. I don't know if his teammates were calling for it. Everyone's a little tired, as we said in the last game as well. There's fatigue sitting in for everybody, but Lukas Kornic there, he was unfortunate. He's had a good tournament, he's had some great offloads, he's a big powerful lad, but on this occasion unfortunately just a little bit muddled, and knock on giving Lithuania the ball in a great position here, split field, either side to choose from, and they come up the right with the scrum half hitting the wings. See if he can put some pace on it here. That's Grigilaitis here. We've seen him score a couple of times this weekend already, but good defence from Poland.
Yeah, good defence from Poland, but they've lost a lot of metres here, and Lithuania progressing well. A nice flat pass there as the Polish number 7 just jumped out to defence slightly. And we had a couple of phases. They'd progressed all the way up to the Polish 22. Again, the inside step working well for them on the inside pass as well. Up to the 5 metre line now, releasing and picking. A good option there. Tajanskas recycles, playing it out to the left before cutting back against the grain and scoring once more. Lithuania extend their lead to 17 points to 5. That's a 12-point advantage, with the conversion still to come. So Lithuania really seem to be in control of this situation now. Andy, how impressed were you with the way they made the progress up the park?
Yeah, it was great. As we said, this little break down the right-hand side from Grigilaitis, as we've seen, he has got some speed about him, but good defence from Poland, making the Lithuanian team work hard for it. But they recycled ball, and they've got those big, long, wide, flat passes, which I really do love to see. They have that ability, and they'll still have that ability, and they'll work on it, I'm sure, over the next few weeks at training and in all the camps they go to, and even some of the smaller tournaments that they'll go to as well. So really well played to get that score in.
Well, and Soroki just outdone in the air as he tries to take that kick off, but penalty is awarded to Poland. So Soroki taps and goes quickly. He's carrying the ball in one hand, now he's got it in two. That's a little bit better. Over the halfway line now, they recycle. And a nice long miss pass out to the speedster. He steps inside against the grain and gets a handy little offload away. But on the second offload, the ball just strays forward, and with that the contest is over. Poland throwing caution to wind in the dying phases, but it won't be enough today. Lithuania repeat their feats of Hamburg and end the tournament in 11th place. And Poland equally so, repeating their result from the first leg and ending split sevens in 12th. Andy, what do you make of that game? Any insights, any pearls of wisdom for us?
No, I think you can, if you see the pictures of the teams just now, they're pretty downbeat at the moment. They've obviously not reached the goals that they wanted to reach on this occasion. And yeah, both teams will go away, lick their wounds a little bit. They will be down in the trophy series next season, but hopefully in 2 years' time we'll see them back up here, fighting a little bit higher up the table and showing us what they've learned in their time away from here. There's lots to learn. There's been the blooding of new players. There's been some great play, some individual stuff, but unfortunately on this occasion the other 10 teams in the tournament just a little bit too strong for them. We wish them all the best as they endeavour down their route of the trophy series.
And looking forward already to the next game between Czechia and Sweden in the women's competition. They will be battling it out for 9th place. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes' time here in Split, Croatia. And we see the squad of Sweden here, led by Maja Müller of Harlequins in England. Some great talent in there, with the likes of Hammarberg, the Wikström sisters, Ytterbaum. It's a good Swedish team. They've been disappointed with their results, and they're really battling it out here to avoid relegation, aren't they, Andy? I think you've got the numbers on that one. They need a high score line, don't they, to even have any chance of staying in the championship.
Yeah, I think reality says that they're not going to do it. I don't have the exact points difference, but it is in the hundreds. So it's going to be tougher. That's a lie today. I apologise. It's not in the hundreds, but it's in the high figures that are not really achievable. However, if they believe they can do it and they can go out and get 10-15 tries against this Czechia team, then good luck to them. And I'm sure they'll want to try. How much they believe that, we'll only find out once we see the teams come out and once we see them actually playing. But as you said, there are some strong players in there, and they have the ability to score tries. However, they will have to come up against a strong Czechia team that we've been talking about. A number of players in there, such as Sladkova and Bolfova and their Rigatova. All these players will certainly not be wanting to lose this match. They'll be wanting to finish this on a high. After their tournament finishing 7th in Hamburg, they'll be wanting to finish as high up as they can and show that they've got the right to stay in this tournament going on to next year.
Yeah, Czechia in no danger of being relegated, of course. Sweden, unfortunately, probably looking down that route. But let's get behind both of these teams. Let's hope just for a good game of rugby. That's what we're here for. It's not all about promotion and relegation. They're the consequences of the results here this weekend. But we are here to commentate and enjoy good rugby. Just about to get underway with Sweden kicking off, playing from right to left in their yellow kit. Czechia wearing red once more, and Sladkova unfortunately not able to take that kick, knocking it on, so an error from the start. They'll look to just compose themselves after an early mistake and pull a big defensive set out the back here. As number 3 for Sweden, that is Hammarberg, takes the ball in her hand and prepares to feed the scrum. Sweden come away in the midfield. Wikström just straightens it up and slices through the defence like a hot knife through butter. Isabel Wikström with the first points of this 9th place final.
Yeah, that's how simple rugby can be sometimes. A good scrum. Scrum half plays the ball away. Hammarberg passing to Wikström, who just goes through the middle there. No problem at all. No hands even touched on her. Straight under the post. With a kick there for Jakobsen. A lot simpler than she would have expected. And that takes Sweden to 7-0.
Yeah, that's the start they needed. They're looking to collect a serious number of points and tries here in this fixture. It's exactly the start they needed. Here we see that conversion. Successful between the uprights. And they kick off once more. This time Sladkova is able to take, but the pass is loose. And once more the ball hitting grass and bouncing, regathered by Sladkova. And now they find some forward momentum, but the Swedish defence holds strong. Czechia not getting past the midfield, and they offload, and once more Sladkova snaps up the ball, but coughed up once more in their own 22. And Sweden patting each other on the back after a good defensive set in the Czechia half.
Yeah, it's good pressure there from Sweden, wasn't it, in defence? They were up there in the face of Czechia. It was good to see Sladkova this time catching the ball from the kickoff, but she ended up from one side to the other, so maybe a little lateral, giving Sweden the opportunity to put pressure on and stop the passes going as we see the ball come away from the scrum. into the midfield once more and trying to get round to the outside wide channels. A good setup, and they go the same way again. Just getting into that 15-metre channel.
Yeah, and Sweden feel really comfortable in these tight zones, don't they, Andy?
They seem to, but we talked about them before and how they changed their style, or seem to have changed their style, and the ball being moved a little bit more because their passes have been good. But what we did see was they weren't running onto balls, so the passes were good, but they were going nowhere. And as we see there, they've gone from inside the 22 back to their 10-metre line. No real momentum going forward, just pass, no pace. But they were lucky enough that there was an error or a penalty advantage that was being played for them, and they go back to scrum just inside the 22.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to attack and score another try. Almost 4 minutes on the clock now, so their aspirations of collecting as many points as possible being thwarted slightly here by a resilient Czechia defence. That's Isabel Wikström once more, playing the scissors with her sister, Cecilia, who charges into the 22, a risky offload, but it works out for them here. Overcommitting slightly at that breakdown, that's caught 4 players in, which gives the Czechia defence opportunity to really swarm around the next ball carrier. But she makes strong progress despite the close attention from 3 defenders. Hammerberg distributes well to the wider channels, and that's what we want to see, isn't it? Ball passed in front of the players, Andy, and they're able to run onto it a little bit more this time.
Absolutely. I mean, they are still going backwards, but they've got a bit more control. They did overcommit, which put them on the back foot for a moment. And once again, Czechia offside.
Yeah, they were rushing up really hard. They're trying to put a lot of pressure on the Swedes. Maja Müller going quickly from this penalty. Distributing well, moving it on. They look to have the overlap, and they won't need the extra players because slipping out of the tackles is number 7 Jakobsson, Sarah Jakobsson of Sweden, getting the second try after 5 minutes of play.
Yeah, that's good work there from Sweden. We saw Maja Müller there just realising that the Czechia defence weren't working hard to get back the 10 metres. Quick tap penalty, looking for her teammates, and on this occasion Sarah Jakobsson was there for the offload to go in. She's also the kicker, so can she convert her own try? We're just about to find out. Unfortunately, just drifts to the right hand side. So Sweden 12 points to 0 up.
Yeah, this is a good performance from Sweden. They've struggled a little bit with the ball handling, but each time they do go backwards, they do find a solution to recover. And we just have a slight break in play still. As is that the captain? No, it's not. Ooh. One of the Swedish players is just getting some treatment. She looks like she should be able to continue, but there's a certain degree of concern from the referee. Looks like a finger getting taped up to me. A broken finger won't hold back a Swedish international player, will it?
Well, we'll soon find out, I'm sure, but good attacking play. Czechia just not getting in their structures and defence in the right position at the moment, which will frustrate them and their coaches, I'm sure. They don't seem to be organising as quickly as they have done in the past. They're maybe going through a bit of a rebuilding phase at the moment. A lot of young players coming in, maybe not work together often enough just yet. But from their point of view, obviously they stay up in the championship, which is important for their growth. And we'll see how they get on for the rest of this match.
Sladkova once more, the player catches that kick-off. And they attack down the middle. Again, trying a very intricate little passing play there, and with very little space. And again, it just doesn't work out for Czechia. So they're spending more time in defence, which has looked good. They've been putting a lot of pressure on Sweden, but without the ball, you won't score any points, and that's exactly the story that the scoreboard is showing.
Yeah, just an attack there. This is what we've seen both teams actually. Just a little flat. They're running across the field a little bit. We want to see more passing, a bit of width in it. create some gaps rather than just running the same lines as each other, and that's what happened there. They just got caught up together. However, referee seems to be indicating that it was feeding the scrum there, so Czechia get the ball in an attacking position.
Indeed they do, and they're off charging down the field. It was Rigatova who once again gets another offload and just can't gather. That's Sladkova. I just have the feeling something isn't quite right with her this weekend. Every time she approaches a contact, she's offloading, whether it's on or not, and so often that's cost her team the ball. She's a superstar of this outfit, and it just isn't working for her this weekend.
Yeah, certainly today I think this is a step too far for a lot of them. They're tired. It's been a long tournament, but at the same time, they know that this is what's expected of them. They need to be switched on. They're obviously safe where they are, but they're not fighting in the top of the competition, but that doesn't mean that they stop playing the rugby that we know that they can. As we see Sladkova get the ball there from Rigatova. Just moving down that far left-hand side. More offloading there, but good counter-ruck from Sweden. Not quite managing to win the ball as the Czechia team move it out wide again. Into these outside channels and just securing the ruck, but Sweden got in there with the hands. That's really good work. That's Maya Muller, I think, this time as she kicks the ball off the park, deciding it's half time. No need to expel more energy.
We've had our stats man doing some number crunching for us. The message has just come in. Sweden will be ranked over Denmark if they win with 69 points difference. So I'd say with a lead of 12 points to 0 at half time that is just a little bit out of their reach at this point. So it does look like Sweden unfortunately will be relegated, but on the day itself it's all to play for still. The athletes, they're top competitors. That doesn't mean they won't care any less about ending the tournament with a result.
Absolutely, they want to do their best there. Obviously there's lots to play for going forward, and there's no point in giving up, as it were, but they probably know the points difference. I don't think we've seen any games go that high over this weekend, I'm not even sure we've seen that over the last few years. However, they want to do the best they can. They want to just string some moves together, get the ball moving, try and hit these outside channels a little bit more. Don't be stuffed up together in the middle in attack. Make sure you can get the ball out in front and give those speedsters an opportunity to go down and score some more points. But I'm pretty sure that Czechia will be saying the same thing. They don't want to be beaten by anybody, and on this occasion they are losing at the moment, but they'll be wanting to make sure that they try and finish on a high as well.
That's always the goal, and we're just about to get back to the action here. Some changes being made, and the teams prepare for another 7 minutes of rugby, and this will decide the 9th place here in Split, Croatia. It's been a fantastic tournament up to now, and I can only assume it's going to get better and better as the play progresses through these final games for all our men's and women's teams. Czechia prepare to kick off through Ditrichova, the young 19-year-old wearing the number 14. Long kick into the Swedish 22. Hammerberg taking the physical challenge to the Czechia defence. And I'm not completely sure they were onside there, but that goes unnoticed on this occasion. It's been a feature of this game, hasn't it, Andy? The Czechia defence are setting this wall and rushing up really fast.
Yeah, they've been good there. I mean, they've been caught offside a few times there, but then we see the hands going in to try and win it, and Sweden been pushed back to their 5 metre line. They can't get out of here. They need to power their way out a little bit to get some go forward, as we see Muller trying her hardest there, then moving it a little bit wider into these middle channels there. We get some go forward, but need to produce quick ball with someone running onto it if they're wanting to try and get out of this danger area, and there we go.
Yeah, and there's two options there, aren't there? Like, so if you've got a defence rushing up at you like that, you can go to the fringes, you can attack the fringes, or like you said, you need to recycle quick ball to stop them from rushing. And Sweden at the moment unable to do either. So back in possession, it's Czechia knocking on the door of that try line. Ball back to the right-hand side, attacking outside shoulders. Oh, I don't know why. I don't know why they went back on the inside there through Swartz. I thought she could have just stayed out wide and it would have been the 2-on-1. But they recycled possession well, and like I said, they're still knocking on that door. Stringing together the phases. They've got a player down, and so they're playing it with 6 at the moment, but Swartz gets over for the try. Amanda Swartz getting Czechia off the mark in the 9th place final.
Yeah, it was good patience by Czechia, wasn't it? They're moving the ball side to side. We saw in the middle there, I think it's Bolfova that got absolutely creamed by Maya Muller there, just going up and smashing her. I think it was Maya Muller. So she's got a bit of wind taken out of her. But Czechia very flat. Their attack was very flat. And again, like we're talking about Sweden, not really got the depth on it just now and coming on at speed, and they're just throwing the flat ball and hoping that their leg drive is going to get them through. And luckily on this occasion it did. However, it eventually got to the outside channel where there was a little bit of speed in it, but not the speed that we've seen in previous games or in the pool games as well. But the score's on the board anyway. That takes them up to 5 points, but Sweden still leading 12 points to 5.
Lovely deep kick there, gathered by Hammerberg. And the player just getting caught on the wrong side of that ruck, so Sweden do get the penalty, and they're off straight away, tapping and going, fending and driving. Another penalty. There was a tug of the hair there on Maya Muller, which is obviously classified as foul play. It is a penalty offence. Sometimes that can happen just by accident. Obviously, there's a lot of hair swinging around out there.
I thought you were talking about in here. Yeah.
Maybe in years gone by, Andy.
Yeah, we see Sweden just slowing it down a little bit, putting the ball into touch, taking the line-out option, giving themselves a breather with 3.5 minutes to go in this game. Just want to control it a little bit more, give themselves some different options. Didn't look too straight there, I don't think. And exactly what's been given by the assistant referee there. As we see some more subs happening for Czechia.
Yeah, Brownarova coming on there, wearing the number 8. That was all I caught, unfortunately, and we're not getting reports of the substitutions, so we're just having to spot numbers. We're doing our very best to keep you informed at home. Back to the action here. So I've got Andy teasing me in my ear here. It's seriously distracting. Never mind. We're professionals. Czechia with possession, building once more. Right to left. Looking for some spaces. Stepping back on the inside and then powering on the outside once more. It's anyone's game here, only 7 points separating the teams. So 9th place up for grab for both Czechia and Sweden here still. And that was a heavy collision, or rather a heavy contact with the ground as she fell, really, and the ball dislodged and rolls into touch.
Yeah, but that was a much better defensive set there from Sweden. We're in a prime position to see their line going forward. It was one unit, they pushed up, they worked across. There was a little sidestep back in by one of the Czechia players, I think it was Rigatova, I'm not 100% sure, where she did just get a couple of metres. However, they scrambled again, managing to stop Czechia in their tracks there, and then forced a mistake on the far side of the field for a scrum. And we'll see how they can launch an attack from here.
Yeah, and off we go here with Sweden possession. Looking to extend the lead. There's only just over a minute left to play. They spill the ball. It looks to have gone backwards, but initially it did go forwards. Eagle eyes from the referee here. And it's a stop-start kind of thing now. The wind kind of been taking out the sails of both teams as we reach the dying moments of the second half. Number 4 for Sweden, Smolina, takes to the field.
Yeah, there's definitely some tired legs out there, isn't there? We've got just over a minute to go in this game. Sweden will definitely be wanting to keep the Czechia team out, as they've now just entered into the 22 with a great attacking opportunity. And Czechia will definitely looking to try and get some points on the board if they can, as they come to the left-hand side, moving it into the 15 metres channel. That's the new girl Smolina trying to make the tackle, but just slips off. However, she got a few friends helping her out there, as Czechia managed to regather, and it's going to be going out to the wide channels. I'm not sure if Wikström can get there to stop the score, and she can't, as Czechia go in.
Yeah, it was number 5, Rigatova there, Andy, getting that crucial try. It's not right under the stick, so it's not a guaranteed conversion by any means, but the kick would level it up here. I think she'd be well advised to take it now before the clock goes into the red, just in case she does miss. And that's exactly what she does. So that was smart, because with that they do get to kick off once more, and if they can get possession off the kick-off, then all is still to be played for and they can get a win here.
Yeah, we're about to hear the final hooter, and there it goes. Let's see, this ball will be getting kicked off the park, I suspect. That's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, a bit of a shame that the Czechia kick just went straight down the middle, because that eliminated any opportunity to contest and compete for it. And Sweden do win. They get 9th place here in split. But because of the points difference, they didn't score enough here or in Hamburg, so they will, unfortunately for them and for Swedish rugby, be relegated into the trophy series next season. Commiserations to Sweden for that, but congratulations on the performance that won that 9th place final. And looking forward to the next game here in Split, Croatia. It will be Czechia once more, but the men's team this time facing up against a strong Ukrainian outfit, and they're battling it out equally for the 9th place. And we've already seen Lithuania and Poland relegated, so neither of these teams in any risk of that. They should be able to play with a certain amount of freedom, as they only have the 9th place to win and nothing to lose. So congratulations to Ukraine and Czechia already on just staying up this year after they got some tough results. That's two teams that were kind of on the borderline. Czechia finishing 9th in Hamburg, and Ukraine 10th, so Ukraine out for revenge today, as the squads are shown to you all back home. Ukraine in the kit we have come so accustomed to seeing, their yellow jerseys and blue shorts, playing from left to right and with the privilege of kicking this final off. The ball goes up high on top of Adam Araki, who rises well. And that will be a penalty, playing the number 9 from an offside position. And Czechia come away, moving the ball nicely. David Surga on the outside to Koblik, and they straighten and cut inside and stepping well. moving the ball beautifully, finding a gap in the midfield and straightening once more, offloading up into the Ukrainian 22. Oh, and there's a retreating Ukrainian player. He was just making a nuisance of himself behind the breakdown, and he is penalised for hanging around in an offside position. David Surga, we've seen him finish already. Oh, look at that footwork and a little dive. He's a big, long, rangy player. He's got an incredible balance for the length of those limbs. A good finish from David Surga. The 19-year-old I'm just reading on my sheet, I knew he was young. I didn't realise he was quite that young. He's still a teenager. And Czechia with 6 teenagers in this side, so I know they've been doing very well in the under-18 and the pathways, the age grade pathways over the last years. So it's great to see so many young lads coming through. The future looks bright for Czechia Rugby. And Ukraine gathering the kickoff once more in their own 22 as the counter-ruck comes in from Czechia, piling over that ball very well, but penalised by the referee for coming in from the side, not driving straight and coming through the gate. Ukraine go for the clearing kick from the penalty, and they find a nice touch around the 10-metre line of the opposition half. They'll have the put in to the line out, and be interesting to see where they choose to attack. It's the big danger man Davidov to throw in at the line out. And we've not seen Sivak for a while, so I'm just wondering if he might have picked up an injury, Andy.
Yeah, he's on the bench there. We can see him standing there as we suddenly see the power coming through from the big number 14, Overchuk from Ukraine, going in under the post for the Ukraine's first score of this match.
Yeah, great play there by Overchuk. He's another young lad, only 20 years of age. He'll be delighted with that. He's got Ukraine right back in this and answers straight away to that first try from Czechia. We've got just around 3 minutes already on the clock, so 4 minutes of the first half still to be played. And Ukraine just taking a slight lead here, 7 points to 5. Here we see the replay from the line out. Czechia just overly keen to apply pressure on the scrum half. He doesn't pass it at all. He just turns and runs himself, and he's under the posts. Good presence of mind and awareness of the situation. Shashero with a good kick, but again it's well fielded by Czechia, and they're off straight away, turning it into a counter-attack situation, and there's just 2 passes is all it takes for them to get in for the next try through Senal. Another one of the teenagers, by the way.
Yeah, that was a great play, wasn't it, from the kickoff there. Just, I think it was Meraki, wasn't it, that caught the ball and then just fed it out to the 2 runners who just had enough speed to go down that outside, and Senal finishing it off a little bit wider than he would like for the kick, but that puts Czechia 10 points to 7 ahead of Ukraine. 4 minutes and 15 gone in this first half. 2 big powerful teams here, but also 2 pacey teams when they're given a little bit of space to work in, as we see the kickoff going a little bit longer than we've seen from Senal in the past there. Ukraine just running across the field a little bit. There was a knock on, the referee calling. Little knock on from Ukraine, so it will be a scrum down for Czechia in a fantastic area of the pitch where they can load all on one side or split 1-1 and have a decision on which way they go.
Yeah, good opportunity here. Czechia with the 3-point lead. It's a narrow margin. They look to extend here, bursting away quickly from that penalty. Yeah, I don't think there was a release in there, wasn't there? Oh no, they weren't back 10, that was the original offence. So, Czechia with the ball. Oh dear. That happens to the best of us, but normally it happens in training where no one's there to watch. Ukraine with possession once more from this scrum, and it'll be Davidov to feed, and they'll try to mount an attack from deep within their own half and go 100 metres to score.
Yeah, Pritchard won't be so happy with that. You could just see his face dropped into his hands there. As you said, they're Ukraine launching an attack from here. Some lovely handling moves. But unfortunately, out wide there, there's number 15, I think it was, Varivoda, just couldn't quite hold on to that ball, or was it 16, Zazimoka? I'm not.
Yeah, that was a 16, Andy. I was just going to correct you. It's Zazimoka
there. Zazimko.
Yeah, that just gives Czechia another opportunity to attack here. They made a little error on their last chance, so they'll be delighted to get the ball back so quickly after just one phase of attack from Ukraine. Ball bouncing uncomfortably there, and they're looking for the outside shoulders once more and then stepping back in. Ukraine really contesting these breakdowns ferociously. That's David Surga once more. And he's got the ball away to your big man Koblic. And Meraki now, who knows the way to the try line. And he does get there, touching it down, untouched in the corner. After the Ukrainians really applied a lot of pressure on that attack. So Czechia really will be happy to extend that lead. It was a narrow lead of only 3 points, so it'll go into the half now with an 8-point lead. Possibly 10 if this conversion is successful.
Yeah, that very much was the Koblic-Surga show there, wasn't it? The exchange passes 2 times each in a short area. The little scissors move followed by the straightening up and pass back to Koblic, who then went forward. Great defence from Ukraine, working really hard to get back and make the tackles, but Surga got the ball back again before offloading to that speedster with their white and red scrum cap on, Meraki, to go in the corner to take this into half time. Czechia 15 points to 7 up against Ukraine, but all to play for here. There's no real outstanding winner here at the moment. No one that stands out as if they're going to take this on and go with it. Ukraine showing some really good defence there, and when they do get the ball in hand, they're showing that they can attack some spaces. And Czechia, as always, strong defence, but their attack from depth is very good as well. So all to play for as we see the teams huddling up and the coaches getting their couple of pence worth of information to the players to see how they can progress their team a little bit further.
And here we see the replays of those tries from the first half. And some of the bloopers as well. Moments the players won't like to be forced to see again on video, but providing a certain degree of amusement for the fans back home, I'm sure. And just 30 seconds left in this half-time break. Czechia leading Ukraine with an 8-point advantage with 7 minutes left to be played. The teams here battling it out for the 9th place. On the seeding for next year will be based on the results of this year, so it's not completely irrelevant what happens. I was saying before there's nothing to lose, but obviously the seeding is of a certain relevance when the draw is made in the coming season. But we're back on the way here. Let's focus on Split. Let's focus on this tournament. And Ukraine with possession in their own 22, trying to build an attack here. Finding a gap. Is that Yevhen Davidov? It certainly is. Who else? He's at the heart of so much of what Ukraine do when they do get that momentum going.
Yeah, and you'll be pleased to know, Ian, that Sivak has come on as well. He's on the pitch there, so obviously not injured, ready to get back involved there. He was the first of the breakdown there when Davidoff had taken that 20-25 metre sprint up the field. Sivak was the sealer there, got in there as Ukraine looked to move the ball to the far channel and eke out a penalty from Czechia. And on this occasion, lovely kick down the right hand side, making a good 30 metres of territory as they go into the Czechia 22. They will have the line out. Davidoff will throw it in. And their lineouts have been quite good. Let's hope it's not the commentator's curse, but their lineouts have been quite good up to this point. Although the wind has just started to pick up, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. You can feel it breezing through the commentary box here as Pavel Kruse takes the field for Czechia. He will take his place at the back of the line out. And a little short one from Ukraine gets the game underway very nicely indeed. Sivak running the scissors play, which just creates the opportunity to swerve on the outside, and Vedler with the score for Ukraine. That was a nice little play with Sivak, like I said, running that inside line, and that just drew the defenders together and created the space on the outside for Vedler to accelerate into.
Yeah, nothing to worry about that win, that's for sure. Good line out. Nice passes as well from the Ukrainian team here. As you said, getting to the far side where Sivak created the space there for Vedler to attack up the outside channel, and he had too much pace for Koblic on this occasion, taking the score to 15 points to 12.
Yeah, they would see that finish once more. A tight old thing here. Sivak to kick. Just a little bit too long to be contestable. Surga takes it comfortably and distributes, and stepping and straightening things up. Czechia mounting the attack from deep. Oh, and just coughing it up in that collision is, I think they were looking for the offload there on that occasion. So there's no advantage coming for Ukraine, so it will be scrum time. Unfortunate there for Czechia. They look to be doing a lot right, but this gives Ukraine a really, really big opportunity. They've just reduced the deficit to 3 points, and they've got an attack well into the Czechia half.
Yeah, a couple of the Czechia boys there just looking a little bit tired. We're seeing Koblic on this side. He's put a huge effort in. He just got smashed back in the ruck there. So the bodies are definitely getting tired here. The fatigue setting in, but Ukraine not looking like they're wanting to give up, that's for sure. As we see Davidoff powering forward once more in the middle of the field, setting the ball up for the opportunity to go into the wide channels with Sivak. He sets it up this time. Good quick ball. A little bit of indecision though. However, they get it into the wide channels, 15-metre channels, and they're set up to bring it back if they can.
Ukraine with the ball, with the possession, looking for the points. They still trail by 3. They go to the blind side and a dummy and a dart. Just not quite enough. Surgatis who holds on to that challenge, that tackle. And Sivak looking for to wind up a big pass. He decides against it, and I think that was a very good decision on his part. Before Fomiuk kicks through, chasing himself. Oh, and he just won't quite get there. That ball bobbling around all over the place and eventually evades his fingertips. As he dives in here, you can see in the replay, just not quite able to get there.
Yeah, you talked about a ruler earlier from the referees. He would have liked to have whoever painted these lines on the pitch to have that ruler 30 seconds longer, because he was that close to getting there. It was a great option. All the Czechia team were up flat. He put the ball in behind. He chased it, but I think looking at him now, he's broken. He's had his day's work. He's worked really hard as Fomiuk. He's done some really good stuff in this game. He should get a well-deserved rest now.
Yeah, and we just see some changes coming in there from Czechia. It'll be Fronek and Zak who take to the field, and they're replacing Surga and I believe it was Koblic. So some fresh legs for the Czechia team as they look to see out this game with a very narrow lead.
Yeah, still just over 2 minutes to go. Plenty of time here to get some scores in as the fresh legs look to make a difference here. And Ukraine still powering in there. They're still doing these counter rucks. However, just off their feet on that occasion, giving the ball back to Czechia, who go quickly down that left-hand side, keeping it in that 15 channel, making yards.
Yeah, working the tight spaces well there and making real progress up the park before they spread the ball in the width, looking to bring in one of their biggest threats, Meraki, and maybe he just got that. He would have liked that ball a little earlier, I suspect. Coming under immense pressure, so it's advantage to Ukraine now from that knock on, and they come away with the ball well. It's a 2-on-1 on the outside. Davidov just showing and going before he does eventually give it. He gets the ball back for a second touch and finds an inside runner. That offload, bouncing and travelling forward from the fingertips. So once more Ukraine just unable to finish off a positive attack and unable to take the lead here.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 for effort for both teams. You can see they're out on their feet, but they're still trying things. On that occasion, unfortunately, the one-handed pass probably wasn't on or just floated forward as well. I would love to see him just hold on to the ball and see if his teammates could get there and support him, but he wanted to throw that pass. He tried. It's unfortunate it didn't come off, but it's still a difficult position for Czechia to get out of. Still a minute on the board. Still plenty of time for one of these teams to get a score. They'll certainly not be kicking it out the park, that's for sure. They'll be looking to hold on to this. Czechia looking to go the whole length of the field. Ukraine trying their hardest to disrupt and get a turnover.
Czechia feed. Look to the left. It's a messy one. I don't know if you want to be trying things like that right in front of your own try line, Andy. You're shaking your head next to me, and I think I understand why. So Czechia do resort to a kick, and that's scuffed off the outside of his foot slightly and giving Ukraine just a great opportunity here. They're powering through the gap on. The offload goes astray, and straight into attack comes Czechia now. The ball changing hands quicker than we can keep up here.
Yeah, just fell in the hands of Jakub Bednar there. He's just come on the field. He had fresh legs, but unfortunately nowhere to go because the Ukraine players had got back in defence really well organised. I think we'll see this ball get kicked off the park here. And we do, with Czechia winning that game against Ukraine. What a game, though. That was 10 out of 10 for effort. The players are off their feet here. Their legs are completely gone, I think, and they'll now have a well-deserved rest.
Yeah, both teams, we will see them again on the Championship Series next season. That's having a slight effect on the seeding, so that will affect the draw. But both teams coming back, and they really gave everything in that game. Czechia, narrow victors. They claim the 9th spot, and we progress then with the tournaments. And we're back to the ladies' contest, the women's series, and it's a 7th place final between Portugal and Great Britain. Yeah, Czechia and Ukraine players just milling around in front of the stands, soaking up the applause from the fans and showing their appreciation for all the support they've experienced here this weekend. Great to see, smiles all around, and Ukraine may have narrowly lost that game, but they can be incredibly proud of everything they've done, especially in such difficult times for their nation. Looking forward though to Great Britain against Portugal. The teams are lined up already and prepared to take to the park.
The two teams ready to face off in the final for 7th place, the Team GB and Portugal.
Great Britain with a much improved display comparison to Hamburg, although it's been a bit of a mixed bag for them. They struggled. They had a great first game and then struggled to really keep that momentum going. And they take to the field now, led by Katie Schilliker, and Portugal led by their captain Maria João Costa. Two fantastic teams and big names of the European 7 Series. And an equally big name to referee it is Jenny Lee. A fantastic referee, very high caliber, very accurate and very communicative. And we're just about ready to get underway. Team GB in their light blue kit, looking very slick if I may say so myself. And Portugal wearing red with black socks, black shorts, sorry, getting us underway with a nice kick into the 22 of Great Britain, who will have to go a long old way with the ball in hand. Oh, their first jackal attempt in the game is good as well, so Portugal winning a penalty there and turning defence into attack in the blink of an eye. Da Costa, one of the big threats in this Portuguese team, crashing under the post for a try in the early moments of the game. It's only taken them half a minute. They kicked off, jackaled and scored. The conversion is also successful, so a 7-point lead after not even a minute played. The one positive for Great Britain that you could find from that early sequence is that if you concede so early, you've at least got plenty of time to come back and change the momentum of the fixture. It's exactly what they'll look to do here. That was Loverbond catching and feeding Greenway. Oh, and a slight handling error there. I think that was Shaw de Leon. I might be mistaken. Lucia Scott, even apologies to anyone watching back home. And it's another Portuguese attacking opportunity with the scrum this time. Mota Marquez on the right. Does receive the ball. She's got Mata outside her. But she might not need her. She's trying to go herself. Dragged down by Lucia Scott, who made the initial error, so making up for it with that last-ditch tackle. And Portugal come back to the same side. Once again with Mota Marquez. She's been dangerous all weekend. And indeed in the first leg in Hamburg as well. And it's scrum time once more for Portugal. They have a 7-point lead after 2.5 minutes and in a very promising position here. Greenway, the scrum half for Great Britain, will have a work cut out to defend this. She'll have to react very quickly indeed. She does. Portugal do get over the line, but it may well be held up here as we go pitch side for an interview with Czechia.
Ukraine captain, apparently you're the Ukraine captain, the Czechia captain. 9th place finish, same as Hamburg. Are you guys happy with that?
I think in the end we are. Before the season we are trying to get better than the last year because we finished 8th. But now I'm really happy, I'm really proud of the team.
Yeah, the good news is you're here in the championship again next year.
Yep.
So hopefully you can improve a little bit.
Yep.
What areas specifically do you think you have to work on?
I don't know, maybe we just need more of those high intensive games. I think we're at the good path right now, but we just need more experience in the team, I think.
Yeah, that was a great game at the end. They'll not keep you long. Have you got a word or two for your supporters back home?
Yeah, and not only at home, but also a lot of people are here from Czech. Thank you, all of you guys. We really love you and hope you enjoy it.
Well, enjoy the rest of the evening here in Split. Congratulations on ninth place.
Thank you.
And as we watched that interview, hearing from the Czechia team, it was Pedro releasing Mata, who got in for Portugal's second try, extending their lead to 12 points after 4 minutes of play. And the kick is accurate but short, so it does remain a 12-point advantage for Portugal against Great Britain in the 7th place final. Loverbond playing the scissors. Oh, and that's a lovely line. Charging down the field here. It is Nicole Flynn, and she's got an instant reply from that second try. So Great Britain getting off the mark here and reducing the deficit with just over 2 minutes to go until half time. Lucia Scott unsuccessful with the conversion attempt. We can see a few more miss-hit kicks starting to occur at the moment, and I can only assume that's because of the swirling winds that we've seen this weekend, that they might have just picked up a little bit again pitch side. I can certainly feel them here in the commentary box. The kick-off finding grass but bouncing kindly for Portugal, so a little bit of luck there as Da Costa charges through the first tackle, breaking the second, and eventually dragged down by, I think that was Courtney Greenway. She does get trapped on the wrong side, but ball is playable, so Jenny Lee not overly concerned and signalling no advantage on this occasion. Mata recycles, Pedro passing. Mota Marquez sliding out of one tackle, fending Schilliker, and it's a foot race. Schilliker against Mota Marquez. Oh, and Loverbond just comes in and blindsides her. So Britain now with the opportunity to counter. Oh, and you don't have much time in sevens rugby to clear a jackler, and Portugal with the penalty, and Da Costa comes away for try number 3. Portugal in full swing now, and I'm joined once more by not so out of breath Andy Knight. I was expecting you to look worse.
Yeah, my fitness is getting better running up and down those steps for the interviews there. I was just with the Czech team there, just speaking to Patrick Prucha, the captain there of Czechia. Quite happy with his finishing there. You know, they would love to have done better, but they're in a building phase, he said, and we just saw them linking with the females team as well. The women were they're down there, supporting them the whole way, as they have done for the women's team as well. So great to see them. I haven't seen much of this match. I do apologise, Ian. I did hear you commenting on the wind, and yes, once you go down pitch side, it is very swirly at the moment. It's not going in one direction. It's not particularly strong. It's just swirling, which is why we're maybe seeing some of these kicks and some of these passes not going to exactly where they were. But for that last try, that was lovely by Da Costa, where she just picked and went. But we now see GB on the attack from the kickoff here, going the whole way down. Looks like it's going to be under the post there. She's chased all the way by Fonesca, but it's a good score by GB there.
Yeah, it was a fantastic try. I think that was Lucia Scott with the number 15 on her back, charging away there after Courtney Greenway collected the kickoff, and they distributed well, attacking outside shoulders and finding space. Schilliker was there in support the whole way, pointing under the post to Lucia. And Lucia converting her own try. So great job there by Team GB to get back into things before half time. They've reduced the deficit to only 5 points.
Yeah, exciting game, isn't it? I mean, as I said, I missed the first part of it, but it definitely, looking at the score, it's 50-50 at the moment. But that was a lovely, not quite length of the field try from GB, but good pace to go from around their own 10-metre line to really outstrip the Portuguese defence. And Portugal have been good in defence in this tournament as a whole. They keep some good lines with some of their great players, obviously, like Mota Marquez, just getting people into the right places, and Pedro as well. She's played really well and just controlling that. But on this occasion, the pace and the power coming through from Lucia Scott was too much for them, and that got GB another point or two on the scoreboard.
Yeah, one of the nice things I think at the moment, Andy, is that there's a few of these younger British players just starting to show a little bit more confidence in their actions in the park. So growing as the tournament has progressed, and we're now in the final stages, and it's good to see players like Lucia Scott and Nicole Flynn getting over that line for tries of their own in the early 20s. Possible stars of the future if they keep this development curve going.
Yeah, I spoke with Eva Wood earlier on. She was saying exactly that this is a bit of a development stage. They don't get a lot of time together, so they need to make the most of it, and that means minutes on the clock there on the field. Sorry, minutes on the pitch there for these players to make sure they get that experience and understand the structures and shapes that their coaches are looking for them to run, as we see the kick-off going nice and long.
Yeah, and speaking of young, that Shaw de Leon, the 19-year-old with that kick-off, a bright future ahead of her, I am very sure. And Da Costa breaking another tackle, and very good awareness just to get that pass away to the wide channels and keep the momentum going forward. And I think that's Mata. Mata once more stretching her legs. She's got over the line once in the first half, and she's over once more here. That was a much longer sprint. She got over in the corner from a scrum on the 5 metre line earlier. This time having to work a little bit harder for the points.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, great play from Da Costa. We've said that she's maybe not had the best tournament that we've seen her play before, but that was a lovely little offload there as two players came in to tackle her, and because one can't put her down, she's just too big and strong for that. And lovely little floated pop over the top. It goes into the hands of Mata, who's got the speed to outrun Eva Wood that I was just talking about, to get into the corner for a touchdown for Portugal, taking the scoreline up to 22 points to 12.
7 and 12.
Yeah, we just see Evelyn Clark take to the field wearing the number 11 for Team GB as Portugal extend their lead. I said it in the first half, if you concede early tries, the good thing is you've got enough time to come back, and Great Britain definitely not out to this. It's been a real tit for tat, and that ball looks to run dead, hitting the corner flag and bouncing into touch. So Katie Schilliker kicks the ball back to the middle of the park, where Britain will have the tap, and it'll be Courtney Greenway to execute that.
Yeah, that's possibly due to the wind there as well. They're trying a couple of different things here, the teams now, trying to find a way to combat the wind. Even us up here in commentary, it's blowing in. We do hope that it doesn't affect the microphones too much at the moment, as we see GB getting a little bit of go forward now.
Yeah, coming in that side.
Penalty for GB, and they take it quickly and storming forward through Eva Wood. Oh, a good jackal attempt there, but a penalty does go the way of GB again, and Courtney Greenway this time streaking off towards the try line, dragged down a metre short. They recycle well and just trying to bundle over there. Maybe a pass would be more advised, and it's in the hands of Schilliker. She will finish comfortably about 13-14 metres in the middle of the park, so a realistic conversion as well, and they'd only be 3 points behind Portugal if this is successful.
Yeah, eventually going over the try line now, just making it a little bit difficult for themselves. As you said, maybe they shouldn't have tried to drive over quite so tight. There was 3 players on 2 on the outside channel where they did eventually score, but they did get over, and that's the most important thing for them, is to bring that game back within 5 points, as we see Shaw de Leon not quite making the conversion. So it's a 5-point game. There's 4 minutes to go in this game, all to play for. GB just coming back into it a little bit more, but we're seeing tired bodies on both sides, aren't we, Ian?
Yeah, we are, but I think the adrenaline should take them home here. Oh, and that ball just unable to be taken cleanly by Portugal. So Great Britain with the line out, or I believe scrum option. Indeed it is. It did go forward, so Courtney Greenway and Katie Schilliker consult two of the more experienced players in the squad, and they decide a scrum is the best option.
Yeah, I think lineouts are maybe not the best until they get a handle on this wind, so knocked on into touch, you get the option there, and the option this time is the scrum, as we see Shaw de Leon going forward there. Great line there from Lovabond, crashing up the middle. Speed to the breakdown is good. They do have to overcommit though a little bit possibly and slow it down, but Greenway manages to get it into the hands of Schilliker, who's going down round the outside. Is she going to make it into the corner?
She is indeed, and that's her brace, Andy.
That's great work. That was a really, really well worked play there, from line out to ruck in the middle to a pace on the outside, ball getting passed in front, which is makes life so much easier for these fast players on the outside, where they can run onto the ball and really start to attack that line. And this is going to be a very difficult kick for Shaw de Leon, right on the sideline into this wind, and unfortunately short and slightly to the right.
I don't know if the viewers can hear.
Time off, time off. No, time off.
So the kickoff too quick. Just got to wait a moment. Referee just saying, hey, just to slow down a little bit. Even they're a bit tired. There's obviously some changes as we see Dos Santos coming on for Portugal. She's been an influential player as well, that's for sure. Some of these players getting a rest, there's definitely some tiredness creeping in, and as we get the kickoff going for real this time.
Yeah, and Portugal taking that cleanly under pressure. Stepping around the fringes, just sucking in some of the defenders there once more, making them work that bit harder, trying to sap their strength. Again, they just keep working around those fringes before moving it to Mota Marquez, and out to Mata, but she's got no space to work with there. So Portugal on the back foot here slightly, despite being in possession. And being held up in a strong challenge by Greenway. She's told to release as the knee touches the ground. Dos Santos with the ball. It's now a maul, so they'll need to get the ball out of there very quickly or keep it moving. They're unable to do so. Scrum time, Great Britain, and just over 1 minute left on the clock. This is a pretty perfect attacking platform.
Yeah, that was good work from GB, wasn't it? Just holding the player up, managing to get that turnover, and as we say, if it's a maul and it's held up, it goes to the defending team here, and this is a great place for GB to show their power and pace. They just need to be patient here, nothing silly, no silly mistakes, as Greenway will feed this scrum with options on both sides.
Yeah, options on both sides. They're not all that far out, just about 30 metres away from the try line. So if they can control this attack and not keep hold of the ball, they could well break this stalemate. Lucia Scott with a good offload. And flying over there is a Portuguese player, hence the advantage to Great Britain. And Greenway charges forward. That offload was just a little bit loose. And the Portuguese come up with the goods and will look to go the length of the field. As we're about to hear the buzzer, the clock is now in the red. And charging after that is Santos. She gathers well, but Katie Schilliker rallies to get back, and Britain are there in numbers. Oh, now just ghosting through the middle. Is it Mota Marquez? She's done it so often, getting crucial tries for Portugal in the moments that really matter. And what an effort from the whole Portuguese team. Britain were knocking on the door up in their own 22. And Portugal turning it round. We'll see no extra time. I'm slightly disappointed. I'd like to have seen another period of that game.
Yeah, from a spectator's point of view, yeah, that would be great to see some more rugby. But looking at these players, they're absolutely out on their feet. They've worked really hard. Portugal, with that last move, really deserved it. But at the same time, if GB had got a score in there, they would have deserved it too. That was definitely a game for rugby lovers, that one. The game was backwards and forwards. We saw some great defence. We got some great attack. Went right down to the wire at the end. Lovely little kick through, and I think was it Costa, I think, that did the chase there. I wasn't 100% sure, or might have been Santos actually. And fantastic play, and well deserved for Portugal. They get their just rewards at the end, but feel a little bit sorry for GB. However, they have played much better than they did in the Hamburg 7, so they've obviously learned a little bit from previous times. They will go on, I'm pretty sure, and do better things in the future, and they've blooded quite a lot of youngsters, a few teenagers in there, as you said, Ian. So congratulations to Portugal on this one.
Yeah, like you said, a young squad. They're a young squad in Hamburg as well. And I think one of the big differences between the two tournaments is that Katie Schilliker was able to stay fit and on the park for the whole tournament this time in Split, whereas in Hamburg, when you have a young group with only a couple of experienced players, and you lose one, you're always going to struggle a little bit for leadership on the pitch. Obviously, they have enough of that around the camp, but on the pitch, you do want a couple of experienced heads to keep things under control. Anyway, moving on to Georgia against Germany, the 7th place final in the men's competition. And it's final after final now until the end of proceedings with the grand finals taking place later this evening. Back to the men's competition, Georgia, Germany. Georgia in their changed dark blue kit up against Germany in their white with gold, red and black flashes on the arm. Germany terribly disappointed with the way this tournament had gone. They had the title of European champions in their sights just a couple of days ago when they arrived here in Croatia, and poor run of results has condemned them to this 7th place final. But I think they've brushed themselves off, and the damaged pride could well be repaired if they get a good result here. So all to play for. The fans back home will want that end result for Germany. And with Georgia unsuccessful with their first kick-off, not going 10, Nikki Koch will be able to tap and lead the first German attack of this game. It's the 7th place final. And here is Nikki Koch. Cedric Eichholz. On to Gleitzer. He has Bellison, the man outside him, but he chooses to step back inside, and Eichholz recycles. Koch spreading it wide with a nice long left-hand pass into Chris Ume. We saw him getting very frustrated earlier today. And he's channeling his aggression now. Enika, good footwork and a good fend as well. Holtz with a big long pass to Koch. Koch back to Ume again on the scissors once more. And now they have the overlap on the left hand side. If they can straighten up and draw the defenders. Bella Sinderman doing very well there to step inside. The jackal attempt unsuccessful, and he's just played the scrum half there, which is not legal. So Enika charges towards the try line, taking it quickly from the penalty and getting the try scoring underway for Germany in the 7th place final. So the early pressure coming on Georgia, and it told very quickly indeed. In just a few phases, Germany progressed from the midfield all the way up to the try line and taking the points on the way. Eichholz to convert, and he does so despite the tricky swirling winds that we've been hearing about. So Germany with a 7-point advantage after 2 minutes of play. It doesn't feel like 2 minutes. I thought it was more like 1. Georgia with the jackal, a good turnover. The referee says play on. And they come away from their own half, injecting some pace into this now, and then just decelerating in front of the defence and changing the point of attack. Big fend there in the midfield. And out into the wide channels now. There's not a lot of space. And the defence of Germany working very, very hard to try and reduce the options for Georgia. That's a nice flat ball, and that's unlocked the gap. A good out the back door offload. Oh, I think that was Yobava who just it was indeed Yobava, unfortunately not able to accurately offload, and the ball just bobbles into touch. A bit of an anticlimax to a very promising attack from the Georgian setup. And Koch to throw in. Enika down to Koch once more, and Eichholz now stepping. He's got great agility, the young man. Ume. Gleitze. Sorry, it's Henry Smeed, my mistake, and the 13 is Smeed and not Gleitze. Gleitze, the captain, of course, wearing 11, and Eichholz not getting much return for his money on that occasion. Wiese, slight hint of a head contact, but it was very glancing in that collision, so nothing that would class as foul play. Oh, and Gleitze just getting caught as he tried to pass to Eichholz. The Georgian defender coming from behind and binding his arms to his body, and he's unable to distribute successfully. So Georgia with a fantastic opportunity now, just outside the 22 of Germany, and they look to get their first points of the game.
So Eva, here we are again. Maybe not the result you wanted for the last game.
No, so I think the start was not what we wanted. The start we were behind. However, we've spoken about when we do, I think something that we got into a bit of character was when we are behind, keeping our heads down. However, I think there was a big shift in mentality and just work ethic to build back the scoreboard. And I think we were just so unlucky at the end. And like kudos to everyone that worked their arse off chasing back every tackle and to just get those points and keep building. So it is obviously we fell on the shorter side of the scoreboard. However,
you know, we're in the top 8. We've made it into quarterfinals, which has been so massive for us, and it represents the potential of the programme. So yeah.
Yeah, as you said there, it was not the result you wanted, but the performance was there, definitely. And this team, are you proud of this team?
I'm so proud of this team. It's been a tough few days, you know, getting to know each other, and like I said yesterday, like playing off each other. Learning how to do that is so much harder than just playing the actual game. It's playing with your teammates that you don't know that well. However, we've come off the end of it knowing each other, growing a lot more, and loving the game of sevens, even though it's, you know, it's a brutal game. But yeah, we've stayed resilient and kept going, and I'm so proud of them. So yeah.
And you've got a lot of supporters back home in the UK there as well. Have you got a little word for friends, family, and supporters back there?
Yeah, thank you so much for sticking with us and watching all of the games. It's been amazing, like seeing all you guys' messages. And yeah, stay with us, and you know, hopefully we'll be back and stronger. It is the only way up. We've had a tough few years, but you know, it's getting there.
Absolutely. We enjoy your night out in Split.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you next year in the tournaments.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Back to the action at 7-7 after David Kurashvili did equal up the try count, and the conversion also successful. So it's a stalemate here as Koch gathers that bouncing ball and releases. Sinderman on the inside, I believe it was. Enika now. Another good little fend from him, just jabbing his opponent away and progressing with his run. Ume now. Koch. Wiese with a little bit of space here to work with, and he doesn't need all that much space, the big man. He barrels over and just takes the lead for Germany once more. 12-7, conversion still to come, and we're into overtime here, so it'll be the last action of the game, of the half I mean. Hufnagel to attempt to convert. And he sends it very close, but the wind just catching the ball, changing its flight and pushing it past the left upright, as we see Wiese as how he crashed over that line with good footwork in the 5-meter channel and great physicality as well. So Germany leading 12 points to 7 after getting the scoring underway. Georgia replied, levelling it up, and with the last actions of the half, we see Germany retake that lead.
Yeah, Ian made it back up here. Sorry about that. I've missed the first part of that game. I was just in time for Wiese to dive over in the corners right beside me. It was an unfortunate tackle from the Georgian. Couldn't quite make him. Put him backwards in there, and he dived over the line for that second score for Germany, which was excellent. After just having a chat with Eva Wood again from Team G&B, just proud of our team for how they've done. They've made it this far. They are in no way looking at relegation and looking forward to next season and just progressing. They've blooded some young players, which is great, and at the same time the Portuguese were all in a big huddle, big smiles on their faces. They've reached a point where they were happy, and they accept that it was a great way to finish the game. But what a game it was, and both teams admitted that it could have gone any way, and they were very proud with the way that they played. So we can get back to the action in the men's group now. Germany, Georgia, yeah.
Yeah, indeed we can, Andy. It's been a cracking first half. I know you didn't see all that much of it, but as I said before, Germany took the lead, converted their own try. Georgia replied with a converted try of their own, and then with the last action of that half, Wiese crashing over. So a really level playing field here. Germany with the edge on the points board, on the scoreboard, but both teams here really with the same kind of pedigree in their squads. Georgia take that kick-off with a nice overhead catch in the lifting pod, recycling well, and good bit of footwork in the midfield, but unable to skip out of the tackle, and they attack that short right hand side. Ume up to the physicality. Oh, that smart play, just releasing and picking again, stealing a few meters. Oh, and they played back in the width, and I was just about to praise them for the way they were moving the ball, and in that moment the pass does just drop in front of the Georgian, and he's unable to gather. It doesn't stick.
Yeah, not quite as accurate as they wanted, was it? Just moving the ball away from the scrum and the ruck on the one side of the field, but the pass not quite as accurate as they wanted it, which will give the scrum put into Germany once again in a promising position on the 50-metre line inside the Georgian 22. A great opportunity to extend their lead if they can get the ball into the hands.
Yeah, it's early in the second half still, and they'd love to extend the lead now. That would just give them that little bit more freedom. That's Captain Anton Gleitzer going into contact there. Umi distributing to Hufnagel. Hufnagel stepping inside and scoring. And we saw him with lots of moments like that in Hamburg, where he was awarded player of the tournament. He's not had quite as much space in the last couple of days here, has he, Andy? But that was a great try indeed.
Yeah, it's not even the fact he's not had as much space. He's not been given the passes, if we're honest. They haven't created the opportunities from him, or as many opportunities as he would like. He's a powerful player when he gets that ball in hand, as we've just seen. He's got great footwork, and he can jink round people, he can go through people as well, and he's got the pace to run the whole length of field if he's needed. And on this occasion, it was just a 10-metre walkover for him, but still some lovely footwork, but more importantly the passes were going to his hands as we see him scoring on the
Yeah, we just saw the replay there, and I think it's almost a little bit unkind to call it a walkover, because that left-footed step would have probably left both of us for dead. But yes, we all choose our own words. I don't want to be overcritical, Andy. So Nicky Koch to kick off. Germany with a good 12-point lead. Georgia rise once again to regain the ball and possession. Dragged almost out towards the touchline, but doing well to stay in field. And they're awarded a penalty. They tap and go. Slightly disorganised there, but in control of possession. Oh, unlucky as he went for the little one-handed inside pass. Ume dived from behind and managed to dislodge the ball with a tap tackle. Here we see the replay. There's Ume coming in, swinging his right arm at the ankles. And the Georgian player didn't catch his number, just knocking on.
Yeah, good bit of scramble defence there, but not the position that Germany wanted to be in. However, they do have the ball. They will get possession from this scrum and a big open field to play with. The Georgians there just over trying things, maybe just with the one-handed pass, and unfortunately not quite strong enough to hold off Ume, who managed to get a mitt onto his arm. Scrum time, far 15.
Yeah, scrum time for Germany, and it goes well for them. Good solid set piece. Hufnagel now attacking outside shoulders, moving it on to the captain, Philipp Gleitzer. Amakuedi now. We've not seen much of him. He's also had a fairly quiet tournament by his standards. A real live wire. Koch back to Hufnagel, and Hufnagel up to the 10-metre line of Georgia. Wiese attacking the fringes, feeding Amakuedi, and he should have the pace from there. He does indeed. The Georgian player just giving up on the chase. He knows that Amakuedi has the pace. He strolls under the post, extending the lead to 24 points to 7. And Georgia need to be a little bit careful that this game just doesn't totally run away from them here.
Yeah, there was no stopping Amakwedi there, was there? Babunashvili not quite got the gas to get there, and we can see what Amakwedi can do if he gets ball in hand. His defence might not have been up to full scratch this weekend, but certainly his attacking ability should not really be in question, as we see Germany leading this game 26 points to 7.
Conversion from Hufnagel is good. Koch to kick off, and the sun's shining a little bit more than it was this morning, which is lovely to see. The clouds just dispersing slightly here. And the fans will like that. And Hoofnagel with very good hands under pressure there. Gets Amakwedi into the game once more, and he releases Ume on the outside, who bounces off the tacklers and cruises under the post himself. He is a big boy, isn't he, Andy?
Yeah, I think I can bench press more than him, but yeah, good pace down the outside there. I think he could probably bench press about 3 of me, to be quite honest, but he had good pace down the outside, lovely little handling move, just getting the ball out into the wings. That's where Germany can be so dangerous if they get their passes correct and out in front of them, and they certainly needed to show a little bit more resilience after their last game where they were very disappointed to lose it. But on this occasion they've definitely stepped up a little bit, although I'd have to say, looking at their faces, they're still not very happy with their performance from the weekend as a whole.
No, they won't be, will they? But it's really important to end things in a high from a mental aspect as much as anything. And there will be mistakes made. Germany are still a developing nation in many senses, so they can be really proud of how far they've come over the last years, working on depth and working on quality as well. Bennett File gathering that ball. Hoofnagel recycles to Enneke. Enneke with a long pass to Koch, and Koch moving it on nicely to Amakwedi, who steps inside, offloading again. And the second offload there from Koch just didn't quite go to hand, so Umi has to just tidy things up. And we'll see Germany play in the width once more. Hoofnagel looking for Gleitze, but the pass just behind his back. And Georgia with an opportunity, they're off. Streaking away, it's Kiriyashvili. I didn't know Daniel Enneke had a judo background. Stepping well off the right foot and bursting towards the line. It's Arshvadze. Saba Arshvadze for Georgia. Just reducing the deficit with the last action of the game.
Yeah, nice way for Georgia to finish off, but what a break up the outside. That was some pretty good defence there. As you said, new judo professional there in Enneke, but Kivrikiashvili is a big unit. We've talked about him before. He's also got pace. He's not just got size. But no, great to see them finish off with a score there. However, Germany run out winners on this occasion, 33 points to 14. They will take the 7th place in this tournament.
Yeah, indeed they will, Andy. And I think they'll be quite happy with that performance. Like I said before, ending the tournament on a high is not insignificant, and also the victory in itself is not insignificant, because it will affect the seeding for the draw for the trophy series next year. That might not be the most present thing in their minds right now, but certainly of relevance nonetheless. And we'll try to arrange an interview with one of these German players for you in just a moment's time. And they might be able to confirm those thoughts. Like I said, the sun coming out here for the first time really today. It's been a bit cloudy, a bit overcast. We've had some severe weather warnings. And I do see some very dark looking clouds over in the direction of the sea here. But with any luck they might just pull past. That's maybe slightly too optimistic from my part. But like I said, the conditions still absolutely perfect as we reach the real business end of the competition. We'll now have the women's competition. Belgium looking strong throughout. And they face this rather young France squad who have had their ups and downs this weekend, but building well throughout the tournament and getting some very good results along the way. Maria Latos, the official for this big fixture. It is the 5th place final of the women's competition here in Split, Croatia. Leg 2 of the Rugby Europe Sevens Championship. And it's a good kick-off to Belgium from France. They deal with it well, and pressure coming on in that ruck, but Bakonda able to recycle and moving the ball nicely to the right. Little step just forcing the defender to sit off for a second. And the French defence really rushing up fast and hard and putting pressure on the Belgians, but unfortunately the taller player there unable to really get the hinge in the hips, a drop in the height, and just a slight head contact there. Belgium with the line out. And it works well for them. They get the ball off the tail and look to move it out wide. A nice little wrap-around play. But France come in once more with great pressure on the ball carrier. Really energetic defence from the French. And Belgium just getting forced back closer to their own try line. And grounding the ball behind their own try line now as those tackles rain down on the Belgians. So France working very, very hard, and they have the just reward in the scrum 5. And a good opportunity to get the first points. Number 77, Marie Lefrancois, will feed the scrum. And I think they win it comfortably, so hitting it up in the middle initially. That jackal looks to have been good. It was indeed. The French player didn't hold on the ground, so no penalty, just a successful jackal. Belgium have the ball, and once more they're tackled behind their own try line by the advancing French defence. And Belgium are going to need to find a solution throughout the next 12 minutes of the fixture. They'll need to find a solution to this rushing up defence by France if they're to have any success here. Again, it's the same strategy by France, and again we see the jackal. That was like an action replay. Belgium coming up with the ball and breaking a tackle on the outside. So that's better from their perspective.
So I'm here with Philip Gleitz. Congratulations on the win. Maybe not where you wanted to finish in the tournament in Split.
Yeah, thank you. After the win in Hamburg, obviously we were hoping for something better than this, but obviously finishing on a win makes it a lot better than than losing, obviously, and we can go into the break with a good feeling.
Yeah, you'll go into that break with a good feeling, but can you also take some positives from this tournament?
Absolutely, because we learned a lot. We know what we can do well, and we know what we can't do well. And we've seen that in the games that we've won and we've lost, so we've got plenty of things to work on in the pre-season and throughout the entire next season. So actually, I think that's a lot of positives, yeah.
Absolutely. Is there anything you'd like to say to some of your fans back home, family members, friends that have been supporting you the whole way?
Yeah, hi. Thank you for all the support through the entire season. It means a lot, and it always pushes us through the game. So thank you.
Yeah, well-earned rest required, so all the best. Good luck in the break, and see you next year.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Germany captain Philipp Gleitzer, and as we return to the action, this women's competition, it's the 5th place final, and France taking the lead with that runaway try from their own half.
It is women's 5th place final. First try scored by number 44, Tony.
It was Tony Fiorese with the try, the 18-year-old. Qualifying for France not by birthrights, rather by parents. So I'm not sure which one of her parents it is that has a French nationality, but she'll be delighted that they do, because she's getting presented with a great opportunity here to play rugby for one of Europe's best nations. This young team going from strength to strength today, and they'll look to turn the screw here in defence once more. It's been a feature of their game, the way they move up aggressively as a line. Technically good defensive work as well, and Belgium looked to find some outside shoulders and some opportunities here. They did progress well up the park before they did lose possession. This is Gurney stepping and fending, pushing away one before she's dragged down by two. And nice footwork there, but not really progressing far up the park. Lack of momentum here maybe for Belgium.
Forward. Ball is there.
They recycle once more and try again with the physicality, but that's just not working because the French are more than up to the challenge. Gurney, she might have more success. It's exactly her forte. And Belgium having to work really hard just to maintain possession there and go forward at all. They're almost up to the edge of their own 22, so they do kick and chase. It's Stevens, the captain, who regathers, and with that they're up to the halfway and rewarded with a penalty. Maria Latos making it quite clear there were hands on the ground from the French jackling player.
Yes.
And that's given Belgium a good opportunity, maybe. They can level the scores after the hooters sounded and go into half-time with a stalemate. That'll definitely be their goal from here. Stevens distributes wide and just slowing down slightly there before the contact and fending, but they are over the halfway now. Oh, and unfortunately the pass from Jiwa just not accurate enough on this occasion, and Belgium lose possession. We go into the half-time. It's a 7-point game. France looking good for their money here. And I think it has to be said, it's the defensive work that's working the charm for France. In attack, they've also struggled to break down the Belgian defence, being jackled a couple of times right in front of the posts from the back of a scrum. But eventually the pressure did tell, and France were able to regain possession deep within their own half, and here we see at least the finish from Tony Fiorese, the up-and-coming superstar, just 18 years old.
Yeah, I'm back again here, Ian. Sorry about that. Just got caught up with a couple of interviews and speaking to a couple of the German players to get some feedback there, where Philipp Gleitzer was obviously not overly happy with the performance as a whole, but a great way to finish, as he said, with a win. Tends to put a smile on the faces a little more, saying that they can take a few positives going into the summer break here, they'll come back a bit refreshed, rejuvenated, and maybe feeling that the expectations were a little higher after the win in Hamburg. And then I just bumped into Ben Ellerman there, who has a little bit of a neck injury, which is why we didn't see him on the bench. So he'll be back again after summer. Just a little bit of recovery for him, and we'll see what happens when he comes back, and the whole team come back after their little summer break.
Yeah, and the wind's really picking up here as we prepare for the second half between Belgium and France. I think it'll be Stevens, Captain Margot Stevens, to kick us off here, get us underway. She puts in a great kick, but it's not contestable, and just finds grass and bounces into touch. France will have possession from the line out.
Come in, please, into the line out. Thank you.
And it's a titled thing, only 7 points separating the two teams, so it's only one converted try, Belgium requiring at least 2 scores to take the lead, and this is a great platform, a platform like they didn't really have much in the first half, so they'll be delighted that after 40 seconds of the second half they have a scrum deep in French territory, wide on the left side of the pitch. Can the French defence keep up this work rate? Stevens with a big long pass off the left hand, beautifully accurate, and they put on the pace on the outside, trying to find the outside shoulder. That was Blondiot. Belgium going through the phases once more, as they have done patiently all game, but just not really finding the solution quite yet to unlock this French defence. If they can control possession for long enough, I'm sure they will do. In the first half we saw them being driven back in the tackles, but also as they were passing so deep, the French were just able to progress and steal meters time and time again. But this half looking much more positive for Belgium already.
Yeah, it's quite a tight game from what I've seen. A little tetchy, shall we say, that no one's really taken or going into the ascendancy at the moment. But Belgium looking good, moving the ball out there, getting into the wide channel, showing us how they can play. And the young French team are just not, I wouldn't say they're on the back foot, but they're certainly just getting a little bit of an edge. Or being a bit edgy and not really fully forcing themselves up to try and cut out this Belgian attack. So lots more to see in there. We're only 2 minutes into this second half.
Yeah, 2 minutes into the half, as you say, and Belgium with opportunity. They try to swing it into the hands of Baconda, and she's really dangerous with ball in hand, but the accuracy once more just missing. Passed a little bit loopy, and I think the wind caught it a little bit. Belgium working the tight right-hand side before Baconda recycles, and they try to move the ball a bit more in the width and running in between 2 French defenders. Margot Stevens snaps it back to the right. And you see that shooting defender there, that was Renaudin from France, and they're doing that so effectively.
Yeah, that's more like it from France in defence, going up, but just going off their feet there a little bit. As we see Baconda breaking again, going up into the 15 metres channel. But once again, the French not releasing and not allowing her to play that ball back to her teammates as Blondieu moves the ball out into the wide channels. This is where they can be really dangerous. Lovely little offload. That was a great pass. Going out to the wide channel for Mira Brooks to go under and score, but really well played there by Verkama, just to free her hands up and give the pass on the outside for a Belgian score.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fantastic, Andy. That's just reward for all the effort they put in up to now. They've been going through the phases, being patient in the build-up and attack, trying to work out a solution to the French defence, and with that patience they are rewarded. Unfortunately not quite able to level things up, but one score for Belgium now would give them the lead, so they're in a much better position with 3.5 minutes left to play.
Yeah, there's lots to play for. There's top 3 place to play for as well. There's a potential to get up into there, into the medals of the overall tournament. So we're going to keep going at this, that's for sure, as we see France breaking off with some lovely offloads and handling straight into the hands of Kozar. But what a chase back. Great work there. Is it Colette that chased her back? But unfortunately, enough power there from France just to get over the try line.
And if I'm not mistaken, that was Marie Lefrancois, the 19-year-old once more. She's having a cracking tournament and setting this European 7th stage alight.
Yeah, that's great great support play there. Initial break was fantastic, getting through and 2 little offloads in a tight area, ball being placed into the hands. And as you said, Lefrancois, at the end of the day, was the one that picked the ball up and went over the line for the score, which again I think is unconverted try. So 12 points to 5 for France with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left of this game.
Yeah, so Belgium once again with a 7-point deficit, having worked so hard to claw their way back into this game. They must get a converted try now to level things up. 2 scores would win the game for them. And they find a half gap, but the French defenders doing so well just to wrap up the arms and prevent the offload on that occasion, as the support was there. Belgium still in possession, not anymore, they're not. And that's France winning the ball in the midfield for 51, Neri. Penalty time as well, maybe an opportunity to slow things down, I thought, but they don't. They go quickly, Andy.
Yeah, that was clever play by the French there, just to run into the retreating player and drag out the penalty. And as you say, I might have wanted to slow that down a little bit as well and eat some time up, but not this French team, playing with a bit of panache, French flair, wanting to move this ball, getting into the wide channels once more, and forcing a mistake out of Belgium there, just not rolling away.
Yeah, another penalty for France, and this time it does all get slowed down. We see a replacement take to the field as well. That's 24, Salome Blin. Another 18-year-old, another one of the teenagers. We also see 64 taking the field. Diallo, Anaïs Diallo, the 17-year-old. I've mentioned her a couple of times that she's the youngest player in the tournament this weekend.
What a great opportunity to blood some of your players, isn't it? Tournaments like this, games like this as well, where they're close. I would love to say they're not meaningful. They all are meaningful, but it's a game that you can get some experience in without too much pressure.
Yeah, and these young superstar teenagers from the modern generations, Andy, I don't even know if they do feel pressure. It's all just a computer game for them, isn't it?
It's now time pressure because there's not even 10 seconds left on the clock. This will be the last chance for Belgium to launch an attack and try and draw back that score to 12-12 to take it to extra time. So let's see what they can do from this scrum. Hopefully their passes are a little more accurate. They don't let the wind get in the way.
Yeah, Belgium losing the ball there, and France kicking it off the park, just hacking it out over to touch. And with that, it is a French victory, 12 points to 5, as a very dejected Lisa Goossens looks on after she was injured and ruled out of the tournament. So that definitely did hurt Belgium's chances. She's one of the superstars in that team, but they can be very proud of the way they reacted, and they rallied around each other in the absence of such a big name player. Belgium losing out on this occasion, France taking 5th place.
Yeah, congratulations to France there, taking them to 5th place. That'll put them up to 32 points on the overall score sheet there. Belgium on this occasion will end up on 26 points there. Still medals up for grabs. Interesting to see how the rest of the games pan out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting indeed, and the next women's fixture won't be played until after the break. That'll be Germany, Spain in the bronze final in exactly an hour's time. But we progress with the men's competition now. Before a short break, it'll be Great Britain against Portugal. The men's 5th place final, Great Britain against Portugal. There we see the British squad, coached by Kieran Beattie. They've made some changes from Hamburg coming in here. They were terribly disappointed with the way they played. Some consistency in the likes of the captain, Rowan Frostwick. And they faced a Portuguese side that is technically excellent, moving the ball freely, attacking well and hustling in defence as well. They lost out against Belgium for the second time this year in a very narrow game, and that leaves them here battling it out with Great Britain for the 5th place in split. Great Britain 7th in the series standings after the first leg. Portugal just 2 places above them in 5th. And there we do see the teams in the tunnel. Rowan Frostwick of Great Britain leading out his team, as does Couto of Portugal, their captain and a stalwart of the setup. And Great Britain have mixed it up quite a bit with their starting lineups. So it'll be interesting to see who does stay on the park when the substitutes leave. Great depth in their squad this weekend. And they'll have the likes of Charlie Shield, an ex-Edinburgh player, and Freddie Owsley on the bench as well. Portugal, however, kicking off, and they may be slight favourites in this after the 5th place they got in Hamburg, but like I said, there's been some changes made to both squads, so it's anyone's game. This is the 5th place final of the men's competition in Split, Croatia. And then we do see that British bench stacked with quality. Lloyd Gilmore getting the ball to Frostwick, who pings it out to the wing. And coming back to the left now, midfield, and a nice attacking line. But jackled and turned over successfully by Portugal. They come away with the tap and looking for the short intricate pass. A little bit of luck as it bounces and sits up nicely for the on-rushing Hayden Hahn. So Hayden Hahn gets the first 5-pointer of this game. Portugal off to a brilliant start after just over a minute of play. And the conversion is good. That just extends the lead to 7 points. As we see the replay of the try. Portuguese bench watches on. They're delighted that their team has had such a positive start to the game. And we're back underway. Great Britain now with the ball. Frostwick out to the right. Hitting it up hard there. And running forward now, it's Great Britain breaking very well. Oh, and the good slap on there, tapping it on as he came under pressure, but unfortunately the ball does go to ground, and that brings the attack to a halt. It looked quite promising, but also slightly loose from Great Britain, maybe lacking slightly in the accuracy there as they got up to full speed. And they'll be a little bit frustrated with that because they dearly love just to held on to the ball for a few more phases, just to get a bit of a grip on the fixture, if nothing more. So it's a Portuguese scrum, and Max Kutz looks to create something off the back of this, and he does indeed. Oh, a little bit lackadaisical with that offload. And Max Kutz looks at his teammate with big eyes as if to say, well, why didn't you catch that? Max, when you see the replay, I think you'll know exactly why. So Rowan Frostwick now with a scrum, and Britain with another chance. Just one phase after they lost possession themselves. Portugal with the early lead, but it's a evenly matched contest at the moment. Oh, and a big hit in the midfield, and the offload does come off well. And now down the left-hand side, Murray Waugh, and they distribute well. Tom Burton moving it on nicely, and it's on to the wing now here. Again, working very hard here, the British attack, and they penetrate the 22 of Portugal finally. Clever play by Frostwick in the midfield, but Tom Burton getting caught in a great tackle. Unfortunately, the tackler not rolling before Max Kutz got his hand on that for the turnover. So it will be a penalty to Great Britain here. Number 11, Murray Waugh with the ball. He will tap and distribute to Frostwick, who just slows and accelerates and passes the ball to Burton, who looks for a hard runner in Radcliffe. Waugh once more, and they come back. Charlie Shield being flung around, losing the ball, but it's a penalty advantage. Rowan Frostwick running into the referee first before he feeds his teammate, who gets the grounding brilliantly. It's Lewis Wells for Great Britain. Brief consultation between referee and in-goal assistant, but I'm sure this try will be awarded. No, it won't. He has just lost the ball in the grounding. I would love to see the replay. I take my words back. I was really sure he had grounded that, but obviously the in-goal assistant in the perfect position to judge that for himself. And the scrum a little bit wobbly there, so just waiting with the scrum half, just delaying the put-in slightly. He wants to see more stability, and the referee does too. So some stern words to both groups of forwards. Before we get back underway here, just over 1 minute left to play in the first half, and a nice little bit of deception there. And that kick, unfortunately, coming off the side of the boot, and you can see him apologising to his teammates. He wanted that ball to stay in field for Max Kutz to chase. We know all about his pace. And Rowan Frostwick will throw. You can see the interview ready now.
So Luan, congratulations on that 5th place win. We know you always want to win the tournament, but are you happy with a 5th place finish?
Yeah, we are really happy because we have a pretty young team. Every girl is like, there is a lot of girls who are under 18, so we are really happy to win this game.
Yeah, we saw that on the team sheets, that very young team. They would have really enjoyed this experience, I'm sure.
Yeah, for the first cap, it's really good to reach the 5th place, so we are really happy, everyone.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And now that you go into summer, are there any plans? Are there training sessions, or is it holiday time?
I hope holidays time, but I still have a lot of work, so we see.
Okay, last thing, you've got some supporters, friends, family back home. Do you have some words for them?
Oui, merci beaucoup à toute la France de nous avoir regardés et encore un petit dernier mot à la Guadeloupe, je vous oublie pas. Merci beaucoup.
Merci et bonnes vacances.
Au revoir.
Merci.
Back to the action of the men's 5th place final. Costa. Sorry, my mistake, that was Fatty. Up to the try line they charge. And over. So Portugal just extending the lead after Britain had worked so hard to claw their way back into it, and they looked to be controlling possession for long periods of that half. But Portugal showing immense resilience, holding the British out, not letting them score, and they've progressed up the park themselves and dotted down to extend their lead to 12 points after an 8-minute half. So fantastic work here from Portugal, and they're in pole position as we see the conversion successfully bisecting the uprights. I think Portugal will be absolutely delighted with that first half. At the start I thought they looked slightly loose with some of their decisions, almost as if there was a lack of focus. Maybe it was nerves, who knows, I don't want to speculate. But they calmed, and as the half went on and grew as the half went on, Hayden Hahn it was getting the first try, and as we saw at the end, with the last action of the half, doubling their lead. The British huddle looks very calm. It's only 14 points after all, no need to worry here. And the referees also discussing their tactics for the second half, or maybe the communication between referee and in-goal judge, how they were able to identify that it wasn't a try from Team GB. They did a great job there. In sevens you don't just have 3 officials on the park. As the game is so fast, you need your in-goal assistants too, and they combined very well with the referee in that first half. And I'm joined once more by Andy Knight, resident expert. I was feeling a little bit lonely there. I thought you might have just disappeared and left me.
Yeah, sorry about that, Ian. Just having a conversation with Luan Larmy from the French women's team. Very happy at her 5th place position, as we noticed quite a bit. They're a very young team. And they've managed to blood a lot of these players, so they're very happy with their 5th place finish. And then we were just chatting that she knows a lot of the Scottish people, like Captain Rachel Malcolm as well, who's now playing down at Montpellier, which is her club. But back to the action here. 14-0, looks like it's a good game at the moment for Portugal.
Yeah, absolutely, it really is, Andy, and it's been actually quite level in terms of the flow of play. Britain had their phases in the first half, Portugal did too. But Portugal with the attacking edge and unlocking the British defence on 2 occasions. And they look to do exactly the same here as they move the ball nicely. They've not been keeping the ball alive quite in the same manner as we saw earlier in the tournament. I think that's an answer to this British defence more than anything. We saw them offloading a lot in the early games. And on this occasion they get another offload away. Charlie Shields calling for a forward pass, but it definitely wasn't, and it was a try here for Portugal. They extend the lead to 19 points to 0. We'll see the replay. I think that will confirm that everything was clean.
Yeah, I think it was Durao that scored there. The nice bit of power to get through that gap. I'm not sure it was a forward pass. The hands looked like they went backwards, so not too much to complain about, I don't think. But yeah, that's Portugal looking powerful there, aren't they? They're getting a bit of go forward, although it's a strong defence from GB. But Portugal, I think, are just managing to overpower them at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're doing just that little bit more with the possession that they have. In the moments that really count, they are coming up with the points, and the scoreboard reflects that after almost 2 minutes of play in the second half. It's a 21-point lead. And Britain not doing all that much wrong, but Portugal just doing a little bit more right.
Yeah, that was a lovely take from the kickoff, though, wasn't it? Kept the player in the air hanging. Enough time for his support players to come back as they managed to get a penalty on this near side, but not through the mark, unfortunately, so they'll have to slow it down and go again.
Yeah, but Lewis Wells with a really big, powerful carry there. He looks to be enjoying himself out there. He wants to take it to the Portuguese, and that's exactly the attitude that Britain will need now. They've got just under 5 minutes to claw back a 21-point deficit. And Frostwick goes for the kick, and he's asking his speedster to chase it down. That's Ben Salmon in hot pursuit, and they fling it out to Lloyd Gilmore, who does his trademark little hitch kick and darts for the corner, stretching and trying to ground, but he's had a foot and touch. I think the grounding was actually good, but he's had a foot and touch on the way.
Yeah, great defence there. It was Hayden Hann, I think it was, that defended. Just got the tackle in, managed to keep Lloyd Gilmore's feet on the ground and just hit that whitewash. So really good cover defence. Portugal not only working hard in attack, but showing that their defensive qualities are of the best as well. So well played to them, as they will now get a line out. However, it's on their 5 metre line, not an easy place to attack from.
No, it's not really a situation you look forward to, is it, having a line out on your own 5 metre line? But Portugal mastering the situation here, and it's a whole lot better than conceding a try. Oh, good hustle from the British defence, forcing the Portuguese attack backwards closer to their own try line. So they kick for themselves as well, like we saw from Great Britain earlier. And it's a hotly contested breakdown here. Britain do well to withstand the onslaught from the Portuguese defenders. And just keeping the ball alive, but in a backwards motion. Oh, and I think that was that Lewis Wells going for the little grubber kick and just dropping the ball next to his foot rather than on it?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. We couldn't quite see from up here exactly what happened, but it is going to be a Portugal ball. But if we go back to that line out, when you've got a player like Frederico Couto on your team, you can throw that ball straight at him to secure that line out, which is what they did, and managed to play their way out of their own 5 metre line, working down to the halfway line, and then securing a little turnover. No matter if it was a knock-on or a spillage, whatever it was, they still managed to get the ball. That's a sign of a good team, isn't it, Ian?
No, you're absolutely right, Andy. Let's not take anything away from Portugal in that phase of play. It was smart, it was tactically good, and they've come up with the reward in this scrum and possession on the midfield. That's a nice little play from the back of the scrum as well, and they find a half gap at least, charging through it, and real momentum in the attack now. They keep the ball alive once more with a lovely little offload and another offload. That's what I meant about the Portuguese style of rugby. Number 9, Francisco Marques with the try.
Yeah, lovely little break there from Edgar Monteiro to get through and get his hands free, and then, as you said, Francisco Marques managing to get through under the post for the try to take the score to 26-0 for Portugal. Kick to come. Should be an easy one, but plays it off the post, taking the score to 28-0 to Portugal.
Yeah, the kick was just too easy, so he wanted a bit more of a challenge, so he went for the metalwork.
We all love a crossbar challenge or a post challenge, as we see a couple of changes happening. Big Kuto coming off. He's done his week's work, I think. He'll not be coming back to the field.
Portugal to kick off, and they're in a commanding position. 4 unanswered tries and only 2 minutes left to play. Great Britain winning the battle in the skies on that occasion and distributing well through Tom Burton. Out to Freddie Owsley. He's got real pace. A wealth of experience as well at 29 years of age. Portugal tap and go. Oh, stumbling and tripping over their own feet. But there's a penalty and a yellow card. I did not see what happened there. I didn't see an infringement, so it might well have been something off the ball, an obstruction or a trip, or I'm not sure. But let's not speculate. What is certain is that Great Britain will end this game with 6 players on the park.
Yeah, that's not ideal, is it? I mean, Portugal are already in the ascendancy. They're already scoring for fun almost. And this is probably going to be another score very soon for them as well. And a lovely little offload. Once again, we see Marquez going under the post for a little dot down.
Yeah, good stuff from Marquez. Extending the lead once more, and Portugal following up their 5th place in Hamburg with an almost certain 5th place here. I think the only thing that could stop that from happening now is if they get 5 players sent off and are disqualified from the tournament, Andy.
Yeah, I'm a funny feeling that's not going to happen, Ian, but I just wanted to say what I really love here is the way that if there's a men's team and a women's team, they tend to come and support each other. We're hearing the screaming there from the Portuguese team, females team down here. It's fantastic. The atmosphere is building. Obviously, we're getting to the end of the day, and some of these teams don't have another game to play in. However, it's good to see that they do come down, they do support, they do make some noise. It just all adds to the atmosphere, and from a player's point of view, I'm sure it spurs them on a little bit as well. As we see GB starting to wreak some havoc out there.
Wreaking havoc is what they're doing. Rowan Frostwick disgusted with the situation, just throwing the ball on the ground. I think that's more embarrassment than anything else. He's a man with incredibly high standards, and he will not feel that a 35-0 really lives up to what this team is chasing. Well beaten on the day, though, by a fantastic Portuguese side. It has to be said, they've been moving the ball so well all weekend.
Yeah, the GB have not played badly. They've made a few mistakes, a few errors, done some silly things. There we go, driving up, for example, just another one of their silly little errors. But let's take nothing away from Portugal. They've been excellent. They've done some great defensive work. They've done some great attacking work. As we see a little bit of Diaz and Frostwick having a little bit of word with each other. Frustration creeping in there. But Portugal just stick to the job there, move the ball out into the wide channels, and I suspect that we'll be seeing Diaz going over, and we do. Marquinhos Diaz touching down. That should be the final move of the game. Well played to him, well played to Portugal. Obviously some frustration there in GB, but they have to hold their hand up and say, beaten by a better team on this occasion.
Yeah, and that last try for me, Andy, that really summarises how Portugal have played this weekend. They were keeping the ball alive, great evasive footwork, just keeping it moving, keeping it going forward, looking for space, and they did so to great effect. All the focus on the positives of Portugal as that kick sails towards uprights and drop short. From where I was sitting, it looked like it was going to go another 10 metres, but it didn't.
Yeah, unfortunate from Diaz trying to convert his own try, but they run out winners, 40 points to 0. 5th place for Portugal, same as they did in Hamburg. Good day's work, time to get a cold, refreshing drink, and move on to summer holidays for them.
Yeah, and as Andy leaves the commentary box once more for his regular fitness session in the stadium stairs, we see the Portuguese and the Brits congratulating each other and thanking themselves by their fans and the other teams that have started to gather in the stand to watch. We'll be going into a brief break after the interview, and we will be back for the women's bronze final in just over half an hour's time. It'll be 6 o'clock local time, and we will be coming live for you with a short introduction at 10 minutes to 6. That's the local time, and that is in just half an hour here in Split, Croatia. So as I said, Andy is in search of a willing candidate for an interview, and assuming he finds someone, we will have that for you before we go into the break. Don't go anywhere. We have the third place final for the women coming up, followed by the third place of the men's, and then the big finals, the grand finals of both competitions.
We speak Croatian.
Yeah.
So I'm here with Max Kutz. Congratulations on that last win. 5th place finish here in Split, 5th place in Hamburg. Are you happy with that?
We're definitely a bit disappointed with the outcome. Both tournaments we lost to Belgium in the quarterfinal. We just weren't able to come out on top, but what was important and what we showed is that on the Sunday we came out with a lot of resilience, won both games and managed to keep up in that top 6, top 5 ranking of the tournament.
Absolutely, you're up there. You know, a little bit more to work on. I'm sure you'll have a summer break. When you come back on, what do you think the areas to work on will be?
I think it's just preparing ourselves mentally for the bigger moments, like those quarterfinals where, you know, the team that loses is out of the championship race. I think sometimes we enter those games a bit not so level-headed. So I think with experience, most of our team is, you know, below the age of 22. So these tournaments are great. Everyone's getting experience, and I think in the years to come, we'll be able to surpass those moments.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you back here again next year. Looking forward to that. Do you have any messages for your fans, supporters, and family members back home?
Thank you all for supporting us. We can feel it, and it really helps us. So yeah, peace and love.
Congratulations. I look forward to seeing you out for a beer tonight there. Thank you, Max.